The internet's number one on the World Wide Web. iLIVE Radio.
In a world where nothing is certain, only music can help you to find the right way. The way you should follow today. This way will take you to the best genres of music from around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome DJ Jairzinho.
He is my testimony. He is the reason I sing. He is the reason I live, the air I breathe, the words I speak. He's the Alpha and the Omega of me, the sponsor of my free, the resurrection of my lost captivities. He is the protector of my heart, the only one who can recast my start. He is the water for my growth, the supporter of my hope. He is DJ Jairzinho.
Mr. Sim's Old Sweet Shop, 135 High Street, Bromley, full of good old-fashioned quality sweets and an abundance of choice. Follow us on all social media at Mr. Sim's Bromley. Download our free app for your smartphone.
We say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, respectively, whatever time zone you're in. It's your host with the most, DJ Jairzinho, right here, the big one, iLIVE UK, in the centre of London. Yeah, man, iLIVE UK, uk.iliveradio.com. That's the way we do it each and every Thursday. If you're tuned in this evening, it should be all the W's. .uk, iliveradio.com. If you are on TuneIn, welcome to you this evening. Don't forget you can download our iLIVE UK app simply by going to the Google Play Store, also the Apple App Store. That's the iTunes App Store, okay? Take us on the road with you, why don't you? If you want to contact me this evening, it's iliveradio@iliveradio.com. And we are across all social media links, iLIVE UK. Listen back to the show via the Spotify app and also on our website by clicking on the podcast, okay? DJ Jairzinho all over your radio for the next 3 hours. Like I said, spread the word, share the link. Connecting, networking across the universe. Yeah, man, I said it, the universe. So what have I got in store for you this evening? A show with a difference, and this happens to be the very last, the very last Luvfreeness Radio Show for 2019. So we're going to do things a little bit different this evening. And when I say we're going to do it different, we're going to take you back through 2019. All the interviews that we have done here on the Luvfreeness Radio Show. Yes, we're going through each and every one of them. Not the full thing, obviously. It'll take us a very long time. But we're going to give you some snippets. The best parts of the interviews 2019, okay? So sit back, relax, get yourself that nice little beverage as we go through it, okay? There's a lot to get through. Are you ready? Okay then. Do it, Jairzinho!
The internet's number one on the World Wide Web. iLIVE Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to bring to you this singer, songwriter, born and coming out of Oakland, California. This is Terry Rimson.
Yes, hey.
What's up, girl?
hey, everything is up because I'm like excited because I'm talking to you. So it's awesome.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Wow. You know what? It's a real honor and a privilege to have you here. This is the one that a lot of people's been looking forward to. And a few people has actually reached out and said, when are you going to have Terry Rimson on the show? And I said, just stick a pin in it. Wait, it's coming. Here it is today.
Okay.
So what's good? What's been happening most recently in your life?
Well, I've been doing with what we're supposed to do, working hard. And, you know, the word that we say is we've been grinding.
Grinding. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Trying to keep my music out there, keep my name out there, trying to tap in some other territories so that I can get involved in the fests that are going on.
Oh, I've seen
showing up at different venues. And then today I won. I was selected as a winner for Soul Cafe Radio. One of the independent Grammy winners. I was the winner. I had the most votes. I had 650 votes.
Oh my word. So this thing that you've been pushing out on Facebook relentlessly, so hard, and a lot of people have been following you.
I had to.
Wow. This is what I'm talking about, people. Indie artists are grinding out there, yeah? And they got to support themselves, because if they don't do that, who the hell are going to support them? I know we're behind them, but if they're not seen to be doing the hard work out there, then their fans, their followers are not going to back them. So, you know, again, big claps and shouts out to you, man. I noticed you had on your Facebook page at one point the voting poll, and yourself and another great artist, Tiffany Tizelle, was really going at it at one point. It was so good to see the vibe that was created between you two. You know, sometimes people see that independent artists can be, you know, fighting against each other and there's animosity, but you both showed true synergy, unity, and fun while gaining votes. I love that. I love that.
She has a very, very sweet spirit, and she made the competition very fun.
Oh yeah.
She made jokes about it, like when I was winning ahead of her.
Indeed.
And then she passed me, and then I passed her again. But it was all in love and
all
fun.
In love and fun.
And she's super talented, and so I was just honored to even be on the list with her and the other three ladies. It was just awesome, and to win, I was like, wow. So yeah, I'm excited.
Absolutely. So once again, congratulations for winning that.
Thank you.
Awesome. I want to go back to where it all began. You started singing at the young age of 5 years old.
Yes, sir.
How did this come about? Because is there like music influences in your family?
There definitely is. And then, you know, when you grow up in the church, you're taught to call people auntie and aunt, you know, when they're very close to your family. Yeah. So the Clark sisters, have you ever heard of them?
Of course I've heard of the Clark sisters.
Okay. Well, the Clark sisters, their mom was my mother's godmother. Wow. And so growing up, the Clark sisters would visit my home at least 3 to 4 times a year. Awesome. Or either my mother would go to Detroit, Michigan, and she would be there. And so that's who actually, they would sit me on the piano, and Twinkie, she was the one that sat me on the piano, and she would have me mimic whatever she sung. This was at age 5 and up. Wow. Every time they would come visit, she would make me sing like her. Or if I would go see the sisters in Detroit, you know, their mother would sit me at the piano and sing to me, and they always would sing. Every time they came to the house to visit, they would sing. And so they became a very close-knit with my family, and they call my mother big sister. I call all of them auntie. Okay. And so it's a very close-knit family, and we become family to them from birth, moving on up.
That's just phenomenal. You are connected to music royalty. You are connected to, I mean, the Clark sisters, come on, man, how big are they? Absolutely.
Very big, yeah.
And you also,
that's a blessing.
You also done work with Daryl Coley.
The late Daryl
Coley, I beg your pardon,
Yes. I lived in Oakland, California before I moved to Philadelphia. And so I was raised there. I was born there. And I left Oakland at age 10. And then I moved to Philadelphia. And so he's been Uncle Daryl since I was birthed until he passed away. He's always been Uncle Daryl. Yeah.
Okay. The puzzle all comes together now, because I've been sitting contemplating like, how I have never heard of this lady before. No, I tell a lie. I go back to 2014. I do remember hearing a gospel track called Zion, but we're going to get into that in a little while. We're going to get into...
Oh my goodness. Okay, go ahead.
I remember that. I remember. Okay. We're going to go back into that. But I was sitting there and it didn't kind of come to my mind, Terry Rimson. It didn't resonate until last year. And I was like, how is it that this lady is just so poignant? She's on point. She's got that real deep gospel spiritual thing inside her, but she's R&B. So of course she must have grown up with a gospel background and had all these influential people pushing her forward. But now you've kind of put all the pieces to the puzzle. It makes so much sense. Okay, so fast forward a few decades to 2014. Is that when you recorded your very first gospel single, Zion?
Zion, yes. Zion was my first gospel single that I did. Yes, 2014 is when I actually came forth and did my debut recording my own single.
See, I know you. Awesome. So 2014, you done Zion. What happened after that?
Then I did another single called I Was Created. Mm-hmm. That's a more upbeat gospel song. It's more upbeat when you can kind of dance and move around. And so I did that. And then after that, I was kind of going through a metamorphosis, I should say, where I was feeling like I wasn't giving enough of myself. I felt like more people needed to hear my voice, and I wanted to share my gift with more people than just the church. Okay. And, growing up in the church, that's kind of taboo when you step outside of the church. But R&B has always been something that I love growing up. My mother, she's a national evangelist, and she introduced me to Natalie Cole. So, R&B soul has always been inside of me. But, when you're raised in the church, you try to stick to their guidelines. And then I just got a little frustrated. And I was like, God, I believe there's more to this than me just singing in church. And I believe that the world needs to hear my voice. I believe that my voice could bless more than just the church. Indeed. And I prayed and God gave me a clearance. And I was like, you know what? I can't worry about what the church is going to say. I have to do what feels right for me. This is not my lane anymore. I can't save the church any more than what they're supposed to be saved. I can't sing to them any more than what I'm going to sing to them. I sing to them all the time, but my voice now is being called out to reach the masses.
You had your calling, basically. You had your calling.
Yeah. And so this is my calling. My calling is to touch the world, whether you're in church or out of church. No matter what you're doing, my assignment is to reach everybody with no judgment zone. Whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're gay, whether you're straight, it doesn't matter. My voice needs to be heard so that everybody can see the God and the Christ that lives in me through my vocals. Now, the church probably would say, well, how are they going to see God through you? Because of the light that shines within. Of course.
Amen to that. So apart from the influences inside your home, who else influenced you in your becoming Terry Rimson?
Well, I listen to R&B a lot. I could name a plethora of gospel people because, I was around that. But I like the oldies, I like people like Shaka Khan.
Oh, yeah.
I like Anita Baker. If we move on up a little bit, I like Faith Evans. Yeah. I like Eric Benet. I like Kelly Rowland. And these are people that I listen to quite often. I like BB Winans. I just like listening to different people. So I'm influenced by a lot of people, but I always said, even though I'm influenced from different type of artists, I wanted it to be where I have my own particular unique sound. I didn't want to sound like anybody.
I tried to work out, who does Terry Rimson sound like? I can't.
Who do I sound like?
You don't. You sound like Terry Rimson.
Thank you. Yes.
No, serious listeners out there, if you can tell me who Terry Rimson sounds like, then please come forward and say, because she is in her own right. You're in your own lane, girl. You're in your own lane. Seriously.
That's what I want.
And I'm wishing you all the very best. Let the listeners, followers and fans know exactly where they can find you on social media.
On Instagram, it's under Sing Terry Sing. Twitter, Sing Terry Sing. And Facebook, Terry Rimson.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you once again. It's been a pleasure talking and, chopping up with you.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor. It's a pleasure. Ciao for now, Terry. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me introduce to you today, right here on iLIVE Radio, out of Columbus, Georgia, the undeniably super talented singer, songwriter, Brianna Wilson. Hey Brianna, how you doing? What's up?
What's up? What's up?
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Yeah, just chilling, getting ready for a rehearsal.
Okay, listen, I really appreciate you giving us your time to be in conversation with me today. I think it's time that Brianna Rhea Wilson took some of this spotlight right now. So, all right, before I do get into the music side of it, I want you to tell us about your upbringing and like where you started singing, where you started recording, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so I started singing probably about 10, 11. That was my first time actually leading a song at church. I was very shy as a kid, and my grandma always tried to get me to sing at church, but I was like very nervous and stuff, so I never really did it. It wasn't until my children's choir did a live recording, a live album, some years ago, and my choir director was like, "You have a voice. I want you to sing the song," and I was like, "No way!" But I ended up doing it anyway. So that was like the straw that, the light bulb, I would say, that really got me to do it, because I not only saw how I felt what I felt, but also like saw what it did to people. And just their response and their ability to connect, with me, and my ability to connect with other people, through song. Grew up watching my grandmother minister to people through song with her voice. I mean, like, we would travel and go to different churches and stuff like that, and like they would be like, "I heard Carolyn was in the building. We need her to sing." Like, it was crazy, like that. And so now, years later, in my young adulthood, experiencing that is just like very surreal. So
am I right in saying like the faith that you have in the church is very strong and prominent in your upbringing and where you have?
Oh yeah, my faith in God is very strong.
Indeed, amen.
And I'm definitely been in the church my whole life.
Okay, so the fact that your mother kind of dragged you screaming, saying, "Go up there and sing," you're grateful for that now, I'm sure.
Yeah, I am because my grandmother is a very strong-willed woman. So even if I didn't do it then, I ended up doing it later. So
okay. So is this something that you do regularly within your own community?
Yes. I'm a praise and worship leader. In my community in Columbus, Georgia. Yeah. And I not only here, but just around. I was a praise and worship leader back in Atlanta too. As a teenager. So just continuing that into my young adulthood, and because I definitely believe I'm called to do that.
So with the church background, how has it helped your artistry today?
Definitely my ability to handle crowds. The church that I grew up in Atlanta was thousands of people. Okay. It's not a mega church, but it housed a lot of people. And so, I don't know how much you know about Southern Baptist Church. That can be a tough crowd. That can be one of the toughest crowds.
So give us a normal gathering. Give us an approximate number of the people that will be there.
On any given Sunday, I would say at least 5,000.
Wow.
Between I would say between 3,500 and 5,000.
Wow. I wasn't even.
And then you have people, watching online because we stream. So then you have people watching online. People in different areas of the church. Because the church ground was pretty big. Yeah. And the sanctuary was big, but it wasn't. The congregation grew to a point where we had to have like overflow rooms, or people would have to sit in the other rooms and watch.
That is awesome.
The stream. But yeah, it's really dope. But I point out that it's not a mega church because it's a very personal environment. Our pastor is very accessible.
I understand
and he's very generous and giving, and he's just a dope dude. I think when you think of big congregations, you think, okay, he's inaccessible. This is fake. This is for money. Yeah. But that is my experience growing up there. I wouldn't change it.
Okay, so pick you up out of that environment and put you at. We have like some big stage shows here. A big place in the UK, London, would be Wembley, the O2 Arena.
Right.
The capacity of maybe 5,000. I'm not too sure on the figures of that, but put you in that. Is that something that you would take on and relish? You could go in there and lock that down.
Oh yeah, I would love it. Because even because I'm used to it. I rather a huge crowd than a small intimate one.
Of course.
I love intimate, venues. Those are fun.
So on the flip side of that, could you do maybe 50, 60 of us in a room?
Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
Cool.
For sure. I feel like that's very personable.
Yeah.
And that gives you access to an artist.
I like that.
It feels like one-on-one.
I like that. I like the vibe that I'm getting off of you right now. So what has been your motivation? I mean, you talk about the church. I understand that. But you've put an EP out there called R. We're going to talk about that in a little while. But what has been your motivation towards creating that EP?
Really, primarily just trying to show myself that I could do it. I've had this voice for a long time, but I felt like I wasn't really doing anything that I really wanted to do with it. Okay. Like I was singing at school, in church and everything, but I saw a lot of people around me doing these things that I felt like were inaccessible to me. But I had to get out of that mindset and really buckle down and say, you can do this too. Okay. And so that EP was really to show myself.
Okay. Now, with all the different genres that's been labeled and put out there these days, people put labels on their music, but the music itself that you create, how does your music make you feel? My music makes me feel real. It makes me feel like a person. It makes me feel tangible. Okay. It makes me feel authentic, and I would say it makes me feel all those things because that's what I put into it. I put a lot into the production of my music. All the tracks except one were things that I produced and co-produced with two of my favorite guys here in Columbus. But yeah, I don't like to put a label on my music because I don't like to put labels on myself. Hey, you can ask anybody that I know. Like I don't like to describe myself or subscribe to norms that have been set by the world. So I just make it and in hopes that it's received as something real. Yeah, which I was gonna into it. This is exactly what I was gonna ask you, because how do you like your music to be received? What's the message that you're actually putting out to the people? I want to put love, spirituality, authenticity, and also connectivity in the way of, you're not alone, because people go through all sorts of things. And I think to be 24 years old, I've definitely experienced a lot. And so I want people to receive it as someone being genuine. Okay. This isn't like nothing I do is, for the crowd or to get on or anything like that. I just make stuff that I know I want to hear and something I know God will be proud of. Most definitely. Awesome. Before you do go, what I want you to do is shout out all your contact business to all your loyal fans and listeners out there. Okay, so if you're on Facebook, you can find me at Brianna Rhea Wilson. That's Briana
middle name Ria, RIA Wilson. That's the page that I'm most active on. I also have a artist page, Ria 706. You can find that too. But I'm most active staying with the updates on that first Facebook page, and also Instagram _Ria 706. I'm always on Instagram, even when I don't want to be. So yeah, hit me up. I answer DMs. I follow back. So just hit me up, give me feedback, let me know you're listening, let me know how you feel.
You heard it, people, right here on iLIVE Radio. Once again, we thank you for giving up your time. Honor and respect goes out to you, Ria.
Yes, respect to you all. Everything you're doing out there in the UK is crazy. Been following a few hip hop artists and stuff from out there for some years now, since like middle school, and I always been wanting to get on the scene. So this is a huge honor. Like, you guys have no idea.
Don't worry, we're gonna get you straight over here in the UK very, very soon. Honor and respect. Take care. Have yourself a lovely, lovely day. Thank you again. Goodbye and God bless.
Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today on iLIVE Radio, we have someone phenomenal. It's a UK talent. And yes, we have to uprise our UK talent. None other than Sabrina Marie Allen, aka Kenzel. How you doing, girl?
Hi, that was a really, really nice introduction. I'm taken aback slightly. I'm blushing.
Welcome.
But I'm good, babe. I'm really good, yeah.
Good. Welcome to iLIVE Radio. It's really a pleasure and honor to have you here. How's your day been so far?
My day's been okay. It's really nice and bright outside. I feel like spring has finally sprung.
Do you know what? I was thinking the same thing. Us being here in the UK, we're not unfortunate like some people, whether it be in Americas or Canada, and they got some really bleak snow and cold weather right now, ice and all that. We're quite fortunate. We don't get hit as hard as most other countries.
No, we don't. And I think on top of that, I would actually say this past year we've been very lucky. I think that our winter was mild. Very mild, you know what I mean? So and it was short.
That's
very
right.
Short. Very short.
However, we haven't had it as good as, let's say, some of the Mediterranean countries and the Caribbean countries, unfortunately. But there you go.
Yeah,
we can't have.
We're not going to get that. Nah, we ain't going to get that.
Okay, let's talk music. Kenzel. Yeah. Where did that name come from? That's unique.
Well, basically, I was trying to find a few names for myself for a long time, and nothing actually was fitting. I wasn't happy with some of the names that I came up with, and I happened to be around Kensal Green at the time, and a bus driver was trying to talk to me.
Okay.
And we talked a little bit because he wasn't a bad looking guy, you know, and at the time I was single, so I was like, all right, you know, let's see what he's saying. So
love it.
We switched numbers.
Yeah.
And the first time he called me Sabrina Kenzel.
Okay.
And I was like, so just to make sure you remember where you met me, you put Kenzel at the end. So if you met me in Stockwell, you would have said Sabrina Stockwell. I see.
I love it. I love
it. Just to filter it out, to make sure that, you know what I mean, you remember who I am. So he was just like Sabrina Kenzel. And then I was like, I like Kenzel. It's nice.
It's stuck.
And also, like, the names like Kenzo and Ken, they have like a really Japanese, Asian kind of influence. And I love things manga, anime related.
Right, okay.
So I was just like, Kenzel sounds good. And I kept it within myself to see how I felt, talked to my producer about it, producer stroke manager. And and he was like, I like it. And it stuck. Awesome. So that's basically the story.
Wow. Yeah. What the areas? Oh my gosh, guys, girls, you're serious out there. Okay. I love it. Okay, so how long have you been within the music industry? How long have you been singing and rapping?
Well, the rapping came very late. The singing, I would say, I've only really been back in doing this for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Maybe 2-3 years. Since I hooked up with my producer, as again stroke manager, Joseph Wright, who is also manager of In Black Records.
Right.
He basically just helped me to kind of hone where should I fit? Where do I go? What's my niche? What am I good at? And as we went on this journey together, the rapping kind of came at the end of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and the more that he kind of was like, yeah, let's sit down and write, and he just really helped me. He's really helped me to kind of like become such a much better artist than I was when I first met him.
Right.
Much better. I went from basement to penthouse.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's how much he helped.
Oh, right. Progression.
Yeah, no,
I love
he's
that.
been instrumental in everything.
Got to send a big shout out to all of those that are in black music. They've been in the game for a little while now. I've done my little research, and since 2008, so we're looking like 10, 11 years now they've been in the game doing great
Joseph
things.
is seasoned. He's a seasoned veteran. Definitely.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Pick yourself up, Joe Wright, guys. Check out this guy if you can. We're going to give you some more details about Joe, the productions and what he gets into in a little bit later on. But I want to know as well, like, do you come from a musical background? Like, is it something that you've always been into?
It's something I've always been into, yeah. I was singing since I was little. You would always know that I'm coming. Okay. Always. I'd be down the street, my friends would know it's me because they'd hear me singing before I got to them.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it was always something that I was interested in. My mum, she used to lead the choir when we used to go to church when I was little. So it was just something that I really enjoyed doing. It was, as always, with any kind of artistry, it's like, it's expression, isn't it? It's just a way for you to express yourself.
That's right.
And when I was coming up, R&B was like hot at that point in time. I just loved listening to all of the people that I used to listen to, you know what I mean? Listen to Aaliyah, Mary J. Blige, and it was like, it just used to imbue you with this feeling, this want, you know, and you could just really feel yourself in the music. So yeah, I think music's just, it's like a colour, isn't it? You know what I mean? You just wear it.
That's
you
right.
know?
Which leads me to my next question, like, who are your inspirations?
Like I said, Jill Scott is definitely a big one. I really, really love Jill Scott. She kind of like, she's the one for me. She would definitely be like the pinnacle. But of late, and of what's happening lately, I listen to a lot of different stuff. So I listen to a lot of trap music, and I like Migos and all them, man. It's nice to listen to all of those things, and I like some of the nice British artists like Nines, Angel. There's some really good talent out there right now. So I think you can actually take inspiration from anywhere. It just depends on who you are.
Okay, so being on the UK R&B, hip hop, you mentioned trap in there, on that scene right now, we have a unique sound right here in the UK, especially within London and let's say Manchester, Birmingham, you know, the main cores of the UK. Describe your sound to me. Describe your particular sound.
There's an old school feel to me personally. It's how I would describe it. Like I said, when I came up, I was listening to a lot of 90s R&B, so I feel like that's definitely in there, and it's laced with recent influences. And I would definitely say that some of the reggae that I was listening to when I was coming up, there's hints of some of the things, the way that I say things. And I would actually say that I like people like Kendrick Lamar. Do you know what I mean? I like how he comes out with his sounds and stuff. I like people like Sway Lee, Ray Shremmerd. So I try to take all of those things that I listen to and the things that I think, yeah, this is hot, or that sounds good. I just try to just pepper it a little bit to see if I can bring those things in. It's hard for me to say if one particular place that I would fit into. And I think it might be because I don't want to necessarily fit into one particular place.
Good.
Do you know what I mean? Like Joseph and I, we've spoken about the next album that we'll be coming up with, and I've said to him I want each track to be quite different from the other. So it's a very eclectic album. That's kind of what I would want to go for. So I think it represents me.
Indeed.
You know?
Well, listening to the album, what I noticed with your sound is definitely you've mentioned some of the influences that you've had in your most recent life, and they definitely come across in there. And also, I noticed that you're young at heart, but you kind of got an old head on your shoulders, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that kind of filters through. That kind of filters through.
I'm so glad that you picked up on that.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce and bring to you today two fabulous artists. You know them individually as Sean Della and Taiwan. Together, they are R&B super duo, Smooth Blend. Hey guys, how are you doing?
Hey, we're doing great.
What's up? What's up? I love it. I love it. I love it. Guys, it's a pleasure having you here on iLIVE Radio. I want to start by asking you this very simple question. How did you guys get together to form this duo, Smooth Blend? How did you do this?
Go ahead, you tell them.
All right. Well, we were working, like you said, we do our own individual projects. And a producer that we both work with, I wanted to put a duet on my album, my solo album. And I asked him if he knew anyone who would be really good match with me. And he mentioned Taiwan. So I reached out to Ty, and we didn't do anything for that album. But later on down the line, Taiwan contacted me for another project, and it unfolded into Smooth Blend.
Wow.
Yeah, when she sent the songs back that I sent to her, I was like, okay, yeah, I can really work with this. And so once we put the first song together, I was like, hey, what do you think about doing a whole project?
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, I'm down. And when I tell you, we recorded this project so fast because the chemistry was so good, and it was so easy for us to, bounce off one another. So I would write something and I would send it to her. She would write something and send it back, and then we just keep bouncing off of each other like that.
Do you know what the greatest thing about it? You just mentioned that you wrote this so quickly. Now, when you guys said to the world, right, you're coming together as a duo with couples therapy, I was like, hold the front page, hold that page, because hasn't Sean Della just finished putting together Believe in You, and hasn't Taiwan just finished doing Signature 2? What's going on? I was like, I can't keep up with you guys. It's amazing. It's amazing.
The timing was just right. The connection was there. We worked really fast. We worked well together. So we were just like, you know what? Let's try to get it out for Valentine's Day.
Yeah. And appropriately done as well. You got it out for Valentine's. Let me say, I've listened to the album about 4 times so far, back to back. Had it on my phone, going to work, backwards and forwards, and I'm struggling to find my personal favorite off the album. It's like you've created an album that strikes a different part of the soul. So just so you know, I am struggling to find my personal favorite.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That means you like more than one.
I definitely do. I definitely do. So, your first album as a duo, is there anything in particular that you're hoping that the listeners will take away from this album?
For us, we wanted to do something that was reminiscent of the late 90s when music was just really, really great, and it felt good to listen to it.
Yeah.
And you could play a record all the way through,
right,
without skipping any of the songs and all of that. And that's definitely what we wanted to create. And it was funny because Sean Della kept mentioning the group Coffee Brown. And so the more that she mentioned Coffee Brown to me, the more I was like, okay, now I get where she wants to go with it. And it got so easy for us. The songs just flowed. And we wanted something for Valentine's Day. We wanted something for couples, and it just felt right.
That's beautiful. So Sean Della,
yes,
now that the album is finished, what resonates with you about your album?
Well, first of all, I had such an amazing time working with Taiwan. Like, we work together really well, and I love how we sound together. Just writing the songs together, coming up with the concepts, like, it was just fun. It was really fun to do, and I had a good time recording it. So, like you, there are lots of songs on the album that I really, really love.
Yeah.
And I love that. I mean, we did more than 15 songs, so we had to choose which songs we weren't going to put on the album, and that was even hard for us.
Okay.
So we're just happy that people are loving the album as much as we enjoyed creating the album.
Ladies and gentlemen, please support our independent artists Sean Della and Taiwan, who are in conversation with me right here on iLIVE Radio. I really can't thank them enough. Blessings to you both. Smooth Blend. Can you please tell all the listeners where they can find you in all the different social media platforms?
All right, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Smooth Blend Music, and that's music MUZIK. And we're also on Twitter, Smooth Blend Music, but that one is MUZK. Smooth Blend Music at gmail.com.
There you go.
Please tag us so we know what you think.
Just be sure to pick up that Couples Therapy Session 1, now available in all of the digital outlets as well as your favorite streaming service. Let us know how you like it. If you don't like it, let us know that too. Right. Tell us what we can change and all of that. We're open to anything. We're not one of those artists who just want to hear the good things. You can tell us the bad things too. We're good.
There you go, guys. You've heard it from them. Make sure you do the right thing. Once again, thank you both guys for sharing your time with me. It's been an honor, it's been a pleasure and a privilege. Thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you. It's our pleasure.
Absolutely. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Stay blessed. Peace.
Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me enormous pleasure to introduce you today on iLIVE Radio, the one and only out of New York City, Ida Divine.
Hi, everyone. Hello. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I feel like I'm in London again. Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's doing good.
You're in London. You're in Canada. You're around the whole world right about now. Everyone's all tuned into you. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I'm really excited. I'm feeling really good. I'm glad that I got my project out the way so that I could promote it for the rest of the year. So doing good. Yeah.
It seems that you've been really busy as of late. And, I've got to say again, I'm very honored and privileged to have you on the show because I know you are one busy woman at this present moment.
Yeah, I try to stay busy. You know, us Aries and West Indian makes a very busy person.
Is that right? Is that how it goes?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but it's a good busy. I like to stay busy and I like to stay creative. Yeah.
That's
Thank you for having me.
The pleasure is ours. So I want to start the interview off a little bit like this. You're recognized as one of the most apt and exquisite independent artists of this era. What would you say is your particular genre? What category would you put yourself in?
Oh, good question. So when I first got started, a lot of people thought that I kind of was trying to go the Erykah Badu route. And she definitely is one of my inspirations, but I'm inspired by Nina and Wu-Tang, and a lot of UK artists have inspired me. I think I'm inspired by everybody, and I kind of put it all in a pot to create what I do. And I don't know what it is. I know it's very soul driven.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if it has a name for it. But it's very heavily soul and heavy bass. And I think if you were to put it into a category, what they call trap soul now is, a lot of trap beats. So this project has some of that in it, but it also has some 70s soul in it. So I think I'm a soul singer at my core.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you how you come across to me. What I get from you is that you encapsulate all the different genres, whether it be Motown, the neo soul, the hip hop, the trap. There's even a reggae element to you as well. So you go right across the board. The reason why I say that, because I don't actually like putting people in categories, even though your music is labeled as R&B soul or whatever it may be labeled as. I don't like putting people in categories. You do music from the soul, and that's just you. And especially as you are one of the creative ladies out there that's representing in your own way.
Yeah.
More power to you in what you're doing. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you. I want to definitely be refreshing because, as you know, with the music business today, everybody has to sound the same because we have to give the people what they want, and people really don't like different. They want to hear what sounds comfortable. When you start to stretch people's imaginations or even reach back in history and you throw a little bit of Sarah Vaughan in there with some Georgia Ann Muldrow, it makes people think. And sadly, a lot of people don't like to think. And I think my music is for very successful, unique people.
Indeed. No, you are spot on.
Because those are the only people that like my music. People that are very eclectic and unique, and they're very successful and in whatever they do. I'm not saying that people who aren't successful don't listen to me, but I don't know. I make music for a certain type of individual, I think.
Indeed. Ida Divine with me right here on iLIVE Radio, the Luvfreeness Radio Show. Woo! What an honor. I want you to tell the people where they can get in touch with you, where they can listen to your music. Give them the rundown.
Okay, so let's start with SoundCloud. I'm on SoundCloud.com/Ida Divine, IDADIVINE. I know there's so many ways to spell divine, but mine is DIVINE. Thank you very much. I'm on Instagram at Ida Divine TV. I'm on Facebook at Ida Divine. Where else?
Pretty much everywhere. Pretty much everywhere. I don't know where Ida is not.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube as well. So
That's
just put in my name and, everything will come up. I'm streaming everywhere from Tidal to Pandora, Spotify. So just type my name in there and I'll pop up.
It will definitely pop up. IDADIVINE. Simple as that. Ida Divine.
Thank you, Jairzinho. Thank you so
are
much
welcome.
for that spelling.
Divine Timing, ladies and gentlemen, is the brand new EP. Make sure you do cop that and share it with people. Let people know where they can find it as well. Okay, we're going to put some links right here on iLive Radio, but please do tell people where you can hear it. Okay, Ida, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for being with me here and giving up your precious time. Thank you.
I'm glad that I could talk to you guys in London and have a glass of wine and have my laptop open and work at the same time. So thank you so much for having me. I hope everybody out there have a great weekend.
Thank you once again, Ida. Have yourself a pleasant evening. God bless.
Thank you. You do the same. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me enormous pleasure to introduce to you today a very special, sensational singer-songwriter, the one and only Alicia Levin.
Hi.
Hey, Alicia.
Hi. That's a very nice welcome.
More than welcome.
Very nice.
How are you?
I'm very good.
Good. You know what? It's been a minute that I've been trying to get you here on iLive Radio. You know that saying, better late than never?
Yeah.
Well, it's better that we get an interview with you now than before you become untouchable. You are 9 albums deep.
I know. It's crazy when I even think about it myself.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
Over the years.
Let's kick it off like this. You are famously known in the UK for two particular tracks, 2 big, massive tracks, not just in the UK, but worldwide. One being Can't Hide and the other one being Skin.
Yeah.
If you do not know about these 2 tracks, I don't know where you've been. Obviously, you're not into independent soul. If you haven't heard these, please do go and cop them. Please do. It's on the EP 10K Above.
Yeah.
Check that out. It's still available worldwide. Alicia.
Yeah.
Even though those 2 tracks are big tracks for you, okay? A lot of people don't realize the substance behind you and that you've been actually in the game for such a long time.
Yeah, for a very long time. Actually, from I left school and then I was working with producers, and then one particular producer I was working with introduced me to Maxi Priest, and I was doing backing vocals to Maxi Priest. Then he had a production company, so then I joined that production company. They wanted me to join the company, and we done an EP, just landed, and then it was exposed worldwide, and in particular Japan.
Okay.
So, and that's when a record label Avex in Japan called up and said, "Oh, can we have Alicia as our artist and sign her?" And then I signed with Ava in Japan, and then just started rolling.
So where it all began was with your EP Just Landed.
Yeah.
And then you came with your debut album, Her Name Is.
Yeah.
Now, it's famously known for the hit song I May Be Single.
Yeah.
Do you know what? My favourite off of that is a track called I'm Still Here.
Oh, yeah, I love I'm Still Here as well.
I absolutely love that. I love that to the bone. You are very much known in Japan. That's your marketing area. Can you explain to us why Japan rather than the UK?
Well, at that time in the UK,
they
wanted me to adapt what I was doing.
Okay.
Yeah, adapt what I was doing. Well, Japan, they just said, okay, we really love what you're doing. This is a backing track. They sent a backing track, and then they put me in the big studio. They said, this is a backing track, write a song to this, and let's see what happens. And that was Saying Yeah from Her Name Is album. And then I just wrote the song, vocaled it, done all the backing vocals, sent it back, and they loved it and was jumping up and down. They said, okay, yeah, we'll take you on. And I thought, yeah, that's great, because the music that they sent, the backing track was just what I liked. Awesome. And then I just thought, they're just going to let me do basically what I want to do.
Oh, cool. Do you find that the UK audience are like somewhat harder to please? You know, they take longer to warm? Or could it be that you sell more units internationally?
I think around that time I was doing a lot of promos in the UK and in Japan. With the UK, I would say London was more of a harder crowd then. I think it's changed. I actually believe it's changed. I think back then it was a harder crowd because I think we were spoiled.
Yeah.
We had a lot of artists coming over from the States, we had a lot of UK artists. And then up north in the UK, it was completely different.
Okay, so what you're talking like Manchester, Birmingham, going up those ways? Okay.
Yeah. They're really, welcoming. With London, it took a while. It's like you have to prove yourself to them, and then they'll be like, okay, I get it now. I get it. But they'll have that first impression of like, okay,
that's a London thing.
What you can do.
That's 100% a London thing. You could go on stage in London and we'll sit there with our arms crossed, like, okay, what you got?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But then you're one of those artists there that your voice projects itself. You got stage presence. I had the pleasure of seeing you at the Darian Dean concert just last month.
Yeah.
When you stepped on stage and you and Darian Dean delivered, the whole place was in awe of you both, even with a standing ovation. You both totally blew the place away. Great unison, I've got to say.
Thank you. Yeah, he's great as well. Yeah,
indeed.
Darian's great to work with.
So the track that you performed, Going the Distance, talk to me about that.
So Going the Distance, it was produced by 2B3 Productions, and the song was written by Darian Dean, great artist. She's been over here a few times, and we've known each other from an album which was The Line,
right?
And we've just kept in touch basically, and then we said, yeah, we've got to work together. So 2B3 Production produced the track, Darian Dean wrote it, and then we both sang on it as a duet, and it's great. Yeah, receiving a lot of love.
Yeah, receiving so much love, especially here in the UK. Big up Darian Dean.
Yeah. Yes, big up Darian Dean.
Before I let you go, because time is of the essence, and I know you're a busy lady getting to work on your next one. It's going to be the 10th. I know you're a busy lady. I just want you to give a quick shout out and let everybody know where they can find you via social media, etc.
On social media, it's Alicia Music. So if you go on Facebook, Alicia Music. On my Instagram, it's the same, Alicia Music. My website is Alicia Music also, which I've been updating. Everything is updated via my website and Facebook.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Look forward to AOB, which is going to be the next album, the 9th album. Straight after that, she's going to take a well-deserved break. Yes, get yourself to...
What's the break? What's the break? What's that?
It's true. I say that very often. Very, very often.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
God bless and Godspeed to you.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me to your show. All the success for you. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me enormous pleasure to introduce you today, right here on iLIVE Radio, the one, the only, homemade soul, Mr. Curtis Clark.
Greetings.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
How is it going down in Philly right now?
Philly is bubbling right now with crazy talent, crazy soul. It's a great opportunity right now.
For sure. Let's start like this. I want to go back the early age of 5 years old, where you started to kind of feel your way within music. How did it begin for you?
Music was real natural and forced at the same time. So I was in church.
Okay.
And I was always encouraged and forced to sing in the choir, sing on the church programs. And my mother would always sing with me, and my siblings would always sing. So we grew up just like that, singing, and it was on a weekly, daily basis.
Okay, so you're saying that it was forced. You hated it in the beginning, or?
No, it wasn't. It was just all that I knew at the time.
Okay.
So, that was all life was.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of different for us here in the UK, because even though we go church, it's not like the US, and people out there will understand, especially in the UK, they would understand what I'm saying is it's not the same feeling. When we put on the television and we see the gospel soul from the US, you can feel the spirit. It's totally different.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I believe you got a wealth of talent out where you are right now.
Yeah, and in the U.S., it's a do that or go to hell type of thing. So that's why I say it's natural, because we didn't know no other way, and we loved it because we didn't know nothing else.
Right.
But then at the same time, we didn't know that it was kind of like, hey, this is the way you should live, and this is how they was gearing us, and it's only because that's the only way they knew as well.
I hear that. So Homemade Soul, how did that come about? I mean, it speaks for itself, Homemade Soul, but give us a little bit of background how that came about.
So I was serving in the military, and I had discovered this love for writing music, like R&B and soul music, and I was recording in a homemade studio in somebody's house, and so I was trying to describe what I was actually doing, the type of music I was doing. It wasn't sounding like typical R&B music. It was early 2000s, and so I basically said I want to describe the original music from my soul, and so I took another word for original, which is homemade, and put the word together with soul. And I want to say I created a new word, but it always constantly gets separated. The homemade and the soul gets separated. Yeah,
do you know what? I stick my hand up to that, because when I had to do my research on you, I did type homemade space soul.
Yeah.
And a whole barrage of other stuff come out. I was like, no, hold on. Let me try this all together. So second time, lucky. Yeah, so I get you. With Homemade Soul, fundamentally, it's yourself, but there's a whole other entity to Homemade Soul. So you go off on a tangent with loads of different artists. Explain to me how that came about.
After about 10 years of just releasing music and releasing singles, I got some licensing opportunities, and I started to learn the music licensing game, like from the ground up, from the outside looking in, from being just an artist in my home studio, sending off music to music libraries. And I started getting actual placements on TV.
Right.
And so through that and research and YouTube, I've always watched the game from a distance, learning other people's experience. I was able to get a landscape look at what the whole industry was about. And so I started offering one at a time to artists as an admin publisher to shop their music for them, not exclusively. And so that developed into a business. We created the business, me and my partner Six, and from there we actively seek out artists and try to give them another branch on their tree of what their music can do.
Indeed. You're building a platform for the artists out there in such a great way. To go on even further, you've got current placements like ranging from films and books, soundtracks and shows on some major networks out there. VH1, Bravo, MTV, but to name a few. You do the amazing stuff out there.
The most prominent one is from the single I Vow.
Yeah.
That's what prompted actually re-releasing that song. That song was made over 10 years ago. So
that's right. It was. So a lot of people out there, you think I Vow is a brand new track. No. Written over 10 years ago. This is the great thing about the type of artist you are. Timeless music. That's what you're creating.
I'm grateful for that.
Most definitely. I mean, I've gone through pretty much, not all of it, because your collection is extensive. It's extensive. Guys, if you go onto homemadesoulmusic.com, that's all the w's.homemadesoulmusic.com, you can see the amount of music that this guy has as a collective. And I'm only skimming the surface right now. So far, I've got back to, where have I got back to? 2012. And I've still got a lot further to go back. Yeah. So what I've heard so far, absolutely phenomenal.
So the website is homemadesoulmusic.com. We still own that domain, homemadesoul.com, so they'll both work. But on Instagram, it's at Homemade Soul. On Facebook, it's Curtis L. Clark. Email, if you're an artist and you want to contact me, you want to collab or work together, it's publishing@homemadesoul.com, and that's directly to me.
Awesome. Curtis Clark, it's been a pleasure interviewing you. Thank you for giving up your precious time. Stay on that grind, and yeah, man, take all these artists to the top.
I appreciate it, man. It's just like talking to an old friend, man.
I'm glad. Listen, man, we're going to stay in contact. We're going to let you go now, but we'll be back with you very, very soon. Thank you again. God bless and Godspeed.
All right, peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me enormous pleasure to bring to you today, all the way from Mississippi, US of A, the one and only. I call him the legend in the making. This is Prince Damons. How you doing, sir? How you doing?
Well, how you doing, man?
Very well. What's it like for you today? How's the weather in Mississippi?
It's cool. Actually, right now, I flew into LA last night. So I'm in LA. The weather is nice and sunny. It's a beautiful day.
Woo!
I'm sitting on the rooftop right now with this interview, chilling, talking to you. So it's a good day, man.
That sounds good, man. Just the way it should be. That's the way it should be. I want to start this interview by going a little way back in your history. You started your journey with music at a very young age, playing on guitar and then playing piano at church. And roll forward many years later, you are now able to play 13 different instruments.
Right.
What was the enthusiasm behind all of this, and why so many different instruments?
I guess I have to go back to the Mississippi thing again. I grew up in a really small town, wasn't really a whole lot to do. You're at the house a lot, so you have to be creative. And my grandfather, I never had a chance to meet him. He passed before I was born, but he used to play with the B.B. King. He used to play guitar with the B.B. King, and everybody tells me that it's like, oh, he was better than B.B. King. I'm like, of course you guys would tell me that, but yes, I get the musical side. I get the musical side from my mom's side of the family. So for Christmas, instead of getting a lot of toys, my parents would get my brother and I a musical instrument pretty much every year. And my brother wouldn't really stick with his instrument, so I would end up with 2 instruments each year.
What?
And so you can kind of see how the math ends up being
100%.
13 instruments after time. So each year I would just pick up an instrument, and it just kind of came naturally. It's a natural gift that I had, God-given gift.
Is there a favorite out of all those instruments? Is it guitar?
You know, you would think by now I would know how to answer that question because people ask me that.
I'm sure.
It's really hard for me to do because it's like trying to pick a favorite child or your favorite. They're all different, and you love each of them in maybe in a different type of way because of their personality.
It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. A child is a human being, and we're talking about instruments. But at the same time, your instruments are your babies. I get it.
The thing about us musicians is like, we'll get upset if you tell us, hey, this is my real child right here. You bond with it, But it depends on how I'm feeling. I guess if you were to ask me right now, today, be bass, because I've been playing a lot of bass lately. I just kind of go through these phases where I just want to play bass all the time.
Okay, awesome. So you've worked with some of the great artists of our era: Lenny Williams, E40, Dwele, Whitney Houston, but to name a few. What has been your experience working with those, and have you ever got starstruck?
Surprisingly, most situations that I've had, they've been surprisingly casual and relaxed. I was, I guess because of my upbringing in Mississippi, we're just kind of taught that everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time. So I don't really go into any situation looking at anybody as a star, just more so another person that I appreciate their art and their craft. So there's more of an appreciation more so than being starstruck. I will say that back in the day, I used to do some demonstrations for Casio, like Casio keyboards.
Yep.
And there's a big event that they have every year. And I was doing demonstrations, and I had an opportunity to meet Stevie Wonder. It's kind of an interesting story. I will say it was really quite the experience to have him speak to me and actually say my name.
Okay.
So I guess if I've ever had a moment where I kind of felt a little starstruck, maybe it was when I met Stevie Wonder.
Okay, that's good. And Stevie Wonder, I mean, of course, who wouldn't be? You're humbled, but at the same time, it's like, wow, it's Stevie at the end of the day. So yeah.
Right.
And it's interesting that you say that, because the normal everyday person, when they listen to your music, they put you up on a high platform, or even people that is mainstream, they put them on a high platform. So when they see them, they go quite crazy. But little do they know that, you're just a humble individual, just like everybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of us, I would almost even say most of us, we've been through a lot to get in a position to be able to do what we're doing now. Mm-hmm. So it's quite humbling to go through those stages in that phase. I often tell people, if you get it too quickly, you don't really appreciate it the same. Or,
right.
Sometimes you can run into the people that have a little bit of a chip on their shoulders if they got it a little too fast. But if you got it by rolling your sleeve up and working like I've had to, I'm just thankful for each and every fan and every person that, I'll talk until my voice goes hoarse if I can to each and every person that listens to my music. Yeah.
Okay. So you later on went on to play clubs, and you continued in the churches, and you even gained a degree in commercial music, and you've ghostwritten, and you've produced for many different artists. Wow. Brother, when do you get a time to break? Don't you stop?
I try not to.
How do you manage this and have a life at the same time? Or is this your life?
I think it just starts to become a natural thing to where actually I feel strange when I'm not doing a lot of different productive things. Mm-hmm. I set goals and I just chip at it each and every day. And for me, that gives me joy to know that I'm progressing in the direction that I want to be going in. I don't really look at it as work or labor or something that's tiring me out. I just do it till I can't do it anymore. Yeah. And then I lay it down at night and say, hey, good job today, Prince. We'll hit them again tomorrow.
By the sounds of it, it's just something that you've grown into. You've done it all your life and you just love it.
Right.
Awesome. And before you do go, I want you to let all the listeners, all your fans out there know exactly how they can reach you and where.
Yeah, you can connect with me on Twitter and Instagram at Prince Damons, PrinceDamons, at Prince Damons. You can also check me out on Facebook at Prince Damons Music, as well as go to rtmusicgroup.com. By the way, you can download that single, This Side of Heaven. You can actually get a free download of it right now at rtmusicgroup.com. And while you're there, you can even check out Dwelle's new single as well. It's a free download of Winter White Nights, which is Dwelle's single. So my single's there, This Side of Heaven, Winter White Nights is there. So get a free download of it, rtmusicgroup.com. Yeah, hit me up. I love to interact with people and let me know what you think about the single.
Excellent. There you go. Free music on the Luvfreeness Radio Show. Don't say you don't get nothing. Prince Damons, thank you very much for giving me your time. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. And I'm coming to Mississippi soon.
All right. I'm going to hold you to it. Yeah. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Peace and love, brother. Take care.
All right. Same to you.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, today on the Luvfreeness Radio Show, I have the privilege and the pleasure of bringing to you a dear friend of mine. And yes, I can call her a good friend of mine because, I've met her over many occasions. So allow me to introduce you to one of Toronto's finest singers, Miss Lisa Banton.
Hey,
Lisa.
Thank you for my yeah, that was some really nice things you said there. Thank you very much for that.
And it's just being honest, because you are such a lovely spirit, a lovely person. How have you been?
Thank you. And I do consider you the same, a friend as well. Every time I see you and every time we interact, it's always been lovely. So I appreciate that.
Bless you.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Happy to talk to you.
Excellent. I'm just going to dive straight into it because I know the listeners has been waiting with bated breath for what's been going on with Lisa Banton. I'm going to start with this. How did it all start for you? When did you start singing?
For me, I've always been singing, always been singing by myself, to myself, and writing to myself. And so it's hard to pinpoint an age, but when I was really, really young, I want to say probably between the ages of 9 and 10, I definitely started doing writing and singing. I was really good at school in terms of English and language. Yeah. And so that's where the writing kind of started for me as well, with poems and stories. And then everything kind of progressed from there.
Would you say it's a God-gift talent that you have, or was you trained?
I have to say God-given because I've never had any training.
Wow.
I don't really count, school choirs and stuff like that, though it does play and it has played a part in a lot of the things that I've learned and stuff. But yeah, I did little school choirs and stuff, but apart from that, no training, though it's not out of the question. I could always improve on what I'm doing right now, but as far as what people are hearing right now, it's all God-given.
Yeah. I was in my school choir. Little does people know, let me put it out there, I was in a school choir and I was a tenor.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I was alto. I was in the alto.
I didn't pursue it because, I saw instruments. So I kind of started to play the drums, and a few people have seen my kind of non-starter video on Facebook with the drums. But I used to play it back in the day, and I'm thinking of picking it back up again. So that's my musical thing. Anyway, it's not about my musical past, it's about yours. So you're no stranger to iLIVE. You've been on here many a times and you've performed on many an occasion. What would you say it's like to perform live, and what experiences do you go through whilst performing?
Well, for sure. iLIVE has been a major supporter of me and my music, and giving me a platform to share what I do with so many people. So I definitely am appreciative of that. When it comes to me and doing live performances and what I go through, it's always a very nerve-wracking experience for me. Very nerve-wracking. Moments leading up to it, I'm always nervous. I'm always worried about how my sound is going to come out, if I'm going to remember the words, and if the people are going to like me. And then once I get on stage, the vibe and the feeling and the passion that I have for music just kind of takes over, and I do what I was meant to do.
I've always wondered that. Butterflies in your stomach, the anxiety. I'm sure that's a good thing, is it not?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It doesn't feel entirely that good in the moment, because ideally I want to be calm and confident and go out there and do my thing. And so if I could do it without the butterflies, that would be great.
Okay.
But I think in what you're saying, it's like it does help because it makes you push to do your best.
That's
because if you're feeling nervous, you're going to push and make sure that you do the best that you can, versus being overly confident and going out there and letting it happen as it may.
It's like preparing to do this show. People may think, oh yeah, he's bubbly, he's energetic, and yes, I am, but there is somewhat a little bit anxiety inside me, and the kind of excitement ready to go, that kind of thing. So it gives me that buzz and that push to produce an entertaining show for the listeners.
Exactly. So it's the same feeling. I think for most performers, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, so I had the pleasure alongside many other people of hearing you live at the Virgo Lounge Soul Sessions last September at the Hideaway, alongside Gwendolyn Collins, Blaze, Kenya Soul Singer, and Yzma. That was absolutely phenomenal. How was that experience for you?
Oh my goodness. It was absolutely amazing. I mean, let me just firstly shout out the Virgo Lounge and all of those talented artists that you just mentioned. They are a wonderful group of people. And for my very first show out in the UK, it was an absolute pleasure and honor to be on the stage with those people. It was an absolutely great experience. Like, I will never forget that. Never, ever, ever.
Was that your very first time coming over to the UK?
It was my first visit, my first performance, and all of that. So, I mean, for my very first time being there, I'm not sure if anything could top that. I really am not sure.
Oh wow, that's quite an amazing thing to say. Awesome.
Yeah.
In general, how do you find the UK, or London as it were?
The thing is that it was a really short trip. I was only out there for a few days, and most of the days were really designated to getting this show right. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get a chance to really be about in London. So I got to see a few things, which were all exciting to me, being that it was my first time. Like, oh, look, there's the bus. And, oh, look. It was great. It was great. I wish I had more time. I don't think that will be the last time that I come out there.
Definitely.
I can experience it a little bit more, but the bit that I got, I have no words. It was amazing.
Good. We're going to spin that very song you performed to a standing ovation, Make It Official. But before we do that, this track was created back in 2012, about 7 years ago, and is part of your R&B mixtape, Mirror Mirror Volume 2, right?
Well, the song is much older. The song was actually put out 2006.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I never had a project when I had that song done, and I was performing it around the city locally. And once I did Mirror Mirror Volume 1, the way that project was shaping up was that it had no originals on it. So I didn't put that song on it and decided that I wanted to put it on Volume 2 because it was one of those songs that everybody really loved. And I wanted people to hear it. People who didn't hear it, I wanted them to hear it. So I put it on the project. But the song itself was done and released years prior.
Okay. In your opinion, what does it take to make a timeless classic like that song, Make It Official?
I don't have an answer for that because when I wrote it and I did it, I didn't know it was going to be a classic song. I just knew that.
Of course you did. Come on. Make it official. Wow.
I never know that with anything that I do. But what I do know is that the type of music that I want to continue to make and write is music that is going to have longevity.
There you go.
And so... yeah, that's the music that I purposely write, and that's deliberate. I want to write songs that I know that 5 years from now, people can listen to it and still get something from it and know that it doesn't matter when the song was made, it still can touch you. And so that's how I really aim to put my music out. But again, I never know if it's going to be that, but my goal is to have music that's going to be around for a long time.
Right. And so said, so done. Listen, it's been great talking with you and conversing as usual. My dear friend, a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great to finally have an interview and talk with you and let the whole world hear how we speak, because conversations with you are always great. So thank you once again for having me.
Thank you. Okay, take care. Peace out and goodbye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you today one of UK's precious jewels, the singer, the songwriter, Mandy. Hey Mandy.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Feeling good, feeling great, and it's an honor to have you here on iLIVE Radio. But Mandy, I got something on my mind, and I need to clear something up with you. You've been in the business for quite some time, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I really have, yeah.
All right, now listen. My sincere apologies for not knowing you from way back when. Even though you're based here in the UK, I only kind of got to know who you are over the, let's say, the last 2 years.
That's okay.
You've been in the scene for a long time. So
I have.
It's not everyone that us DJ presenters can know. It's not everybody, but you are now 100% on my radar. So I'm going to play catch up and support all the music that I've missed from you over the years. Most definitely.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to jump straight in with this. So, like I said, you've been in the music business for quite some time now. Tell me what's kept you grounded within the music business all this time.
To be fair, I've had a break in between. I wouldn't say breaks, I'll more say a break. And that was due to me becoming a mother and so forth. And I just thought, you know what, let me deal with my parenting first and foremost. Okay. And then when my boys became of an age, I said, all right, let me get back out there now and have another go at the music thing and so forth.
Okay.
So when I came back out, I was actually going around with live bands and stuff like that. I wasn't actually recording. So I started recording again in 2015.
Right.
That's why I've been on and off for the amount of years.
Okay. However, You've been doing this from the age of 4 years old.
Yeah, I've always been singing. I've probably been singing before that. That's just to my knowledge.
I love that. I love that.
To be fair.
And like,
but yeah,
you've proved yourself later on in the years, obviously, because like you're here on iLIVE now. So most definitely you're out there now. So tell me your early journey. Tell me about your early journey through music.
Clearly, it started within the house. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as most of us do. You know, we're young.
I didn't.
Airbrushed. And, all right, then I'll let you off. Yeah.
I'm played.
But you know, when music is just a part of your life, you know, from birth onwards, so it's always around you, and you know, I'd be in the house singing along and so forth. Mm-hmm. I think me knowing that I could sing was through my uncle taking me. I think I went to his college or something one day.
Okay.
And that's when I was 4, 5. And he said to his friends, "Oh, you know, my niece, she could sing." And I was like, "What?" And they said, "Okay, sing." So I was singing "Feeling Love" on the side.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because that was one of my grand's favourite tunes.
Love.
So I knew that word for word. She'd always play that. So yeah. Yeah, I just always sung, like, even up until now. I mean, I still see myself as a long way to go, and I'm still learning, and every day, you know, there's something new to learn. You can never say you know it all. That's just impossible.
Yeah, no,
you know, so, you know, whether that's in terms of business, I'm still growing. In terms of vocally, I'm still growing as far as I'm concerned, you know, and stuff like that.
Okay. You started recording properly, let's say, in the early 90s?
The early 90s, yeah. I think the first track that I ever recorded was actually an R&B track. I never put it out or anything like that.
Yeah, okay.
Because I didn't feel that I was ready to take on anything else to go with music, so to speak. So I would just do, you know, shows, and, you know, if people ask me to do a show or whatever.
What was the name of that first track?
I Don't Want to Share Your Love. That was my first track.
Can we find that anyway? Is it?
No, you won't find it. That's what I'm saying. I never put it out.
Right.
That was my first experience of actually going into a proper studio, and back then it was reel to reel.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
But you've still got it though. You've still got it.
Yeah, I've still got that reel to reel.
Awesome.
And my first experience actually was with live musicians along with me singing. So
good way to start.
Yeah.
For me, the first track that I ever heard from yourself was a reggae soul track. So for those that's listening out there at the moment, when I say reggae soul track, you will know I used to do a show on a Monday called Monday Madness, and within that we used to do what we call a Reggae's Got Soul segment. So this is the type of artist that Mandy is. Originally an R&B artist, a soul artist. However, she has managed to infuse both her soul and her reggae background ever so wonderfully. The track that I'm talking about is a track called The Feeling.
Okay.
Apparently this was written over a decade ago?
Yeah, I wrote that song years ago, yeah. To be honest with you, I didn't even release that.
Oh, wow. It didn't even get released.
I didn't even release that. You know what it was? At that time there, I had done a few recordings, and they were sent out to local stations, DJs, so forth. And I didn't actually follow it up to see, you know, what the feedback was or whatever, because the producer at the time is who sent it out.
Yeah.
So, you know, any feedback or anything would go back to himself. And that was actually done by Cassell, the beat maker.
If you like your Reggae's Got Soul, you can catch her back catalogue. But right now, this Love and Light EP, doing fabulous thing. It's charted, as she said. You need to get out there and support this. You need to support all our independent artists. Big yourself up, Mandy. Thank you for giving us such a lovely, wonderful EP, Love and Light. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who's been supporting it and, you know, playing it and the whole shebang. Everyone that's just said anything about it, doesn't matter what you said. Thank you. You know, I appreciate it.
Indeed. So tell us where we can purchase it, where we can go and listen to it, where we can support it, and more importantly, how we can get in contact with yourself.
You can purchase Love and Light via Amazon, iTunes. It's only out there as a download. I haven't streamed it.
Right, okay, awesome.
Yeah, I haven't streamed it. Put it out there as a download only.
Cool.
So you can find me on Facebook, Mandy Artist, Mandy Singer. I'm also on Instagram, Mandy Singer. anything is just Mandy, artist or singer, and you'll find me. I've just made it easy and simple for people to find me.
Okay, and there's a particular way that you spell your name. Let me tell everybody now, okay? It's MANDEE, okay? So if you're going to go on Facebook, it's at MANDEE artist. Of course, you'd have to spell artist, all one word, Mandy artist. And Mandy singer, again, that's MANDEESINGER.
Yeah.
Mandy, it's been a pleasure having you here. Thank you very much for giving up your time. It's an honor.
That's no problem. Thank you. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be interviewed by yourself. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Take care and stay blessed.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me enormous pleasure today on the Luvfreeness Radio Show. I can formally introduce to you the one and only Eva Bittersweet. Hey Eva, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How's your day been today, first of all?
Well, it's been quite a day. I started my little workout, so I'm hurting right now.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a good day.
Okay, all good, all good. Okay, so let's jump straight into this interview. Let me ask you a few questions. So you're born and raised in Washington, D.C., but proudly claim your African roots from Nigerian parentage.
Yes, I do. Both parents are Nigerian from the Igbo tribe, and that's what I claim.
Okay. So how has your African heritage influenced your music as an independent artist?
Well, I'm actually trying to introduce some of it, slowly into my music. I don't want to force it in because I was raised here, and my dialect or my accent may not be as authentic as it should be. But I am learning and trying to introduce that to some of my music. One of the tracks on my second project is called Oyoyo. That's a Nigerian influence. Yes.
Yeah, very, very heavy influence on that. Like that. I'm reading that you write poetry, and you've done so from the age of 9. And you quote, you do this with dreams to one day bring your lyrics to life. Explain this. Like, how do you manage to achieve this?
Well, I started writing, like you just said, at a young age. Yeah. And, I've always loved music and, watching all the vocalists from my coming up. I wanted to see my music be sung by one of them. But the poetry was just a step to that, I think. And now, instead of just writing poetry, I'm writing lyrics and framing that with beats, and out comes my song.
Hey. Who would you say are your main idols or influences in music?
At a young age, Diana Ross, #1, and I think I'm pretty eclectic in my selection. I love Diana Ross, but I also love Whitney Houston. I love Barbra Streisand. Yeah. I love Crystal Gayle, and Pink. So, but starting off, it would be Diana Ross for sure. And Barbra Streisand, Whitney Houston.
Right, yeah, because you've actually been on stage, like singing a lot of these artists' songs, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done covers from those artists, in, small local shows or private parties and stuff like that.
Okay. How does that feel to do that, like to a small or big audience? How does that feel?
Age has a way of putting second thoughts in your way. At a young age, I wasn't, afraid to stand in front of people and perform. But I think as I got older,
this anxiety grows in us, and it's like, should I be doing that?
Yeah, you're worried about, sometimes. But I think I'm growing out of that as well now, and performing has come a lot more easier for me now. But I do love music and anything about it. I like being around it. I like listening to it. I love singing it. It just makes me happy.
Awesome. So your music encompasses a plethora of genres, from jazz to hip hop and soul to African roots, even a little bit of reggae in there as well. How would you describe your music?
Eclectic soul, I would think, because I don't believe that I fit in any one genre. I love classical music. I love country music. I love, funk. And I love hip hop, and I love pop. So I would think that I have an eclectic taste, and I like my music to reflect that.
Yeah, listening to the albums, I definitely would say you're very eclectic. Definitely. Your first album, Bittersweet Love, released in 2015. It boasts some of the magnificent producers I've noticed, like Treasure Biz Trey, Brian Christopher, Dawood Syed, M. Fasol, but to name a few. Like, what was your experience in working with these talented musicians?
Well, it was awesome, actually, because when you work with these names, like you just mentioned, these engineers or musicians, and to work with them, that means they believe in something that you're doing. They believe in you enough to take that time. I mean, you mentioned Dawood Syed, and that's a big name around here.
Oh, yeah. It's a big name around here, too.
Oh, great.
And Brian Christopher, I might add, a very good friend of mine. Yes.
Brian is amazing. Love his voice. And we actually did the first single off of the Locked on 7 project.
Okay.
I Feel Free.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was a dream come true because that one was from beginning to end organic. Like, I could not find anyone to help me put that music together for the idea that I had. And I spoke with Brian, and he sat down with me and we put down the framework. I mean, it was amazing. And then he worked with Dawood, and Dawood, in his genius, put the music together and came in, recorded it, done. I was so happy. That was a dream come true right there.
Awesome. I love that. So you've just completed your second project, Locked on 7, Rebirth to Nirvana. Tell us how you came up with that name or that title.
Okay, well, Locked on 7 is the name of the second single on the second project, and Rebirth to Nirvana is the last song before the bonus track. Locked on 7, is playing on a couple of themes. It's being focused. In the lyrics, it does refer to a male that she's focused on, and she's trying to focus her energy on, and nothing around her matters because she's focused. Well, I needed to be focused on this entire project, and I needed to be focused to continue following my dreams of putting out music. So I thought that Locked on 7 would be a good title because of those reasons. And then Rebirth to Nirvana fit for me as well because I felt a rebirth. I mean, in this business, it's very easy to get discouraged, and it's very easy to forget why you're doing it because it's so difficult to, do certain things, I mean, it's challenging, I should say. Yeah. It's challenging. And, I thought about giving it all up, but then I felt this sudden sensation to just try it again, just pick up from the beginning and just do it again. And I feel like a lot of times we need that push. Yeah. We need that push to start over and take it to the end of time, just do everything with all of your might and just believe in it.
Totally. I guess it's very healthy to sometimes take a step back and take a hiatus from the work that you love doing, just to reflect on yourself, get things into focus, and then come back with a clear head. It's very important that you artists do that, I find.
Yeah. Yes. A lot of times we want things to happen now. Yeah. But it just doesn't.
Also, the demand on you, is so great as well that it can be overwhelming sometimes. So you do need to take control of your own destiny, and I'm not going to push out too much. I'm just going to take my time and do it in my own way.
Exactly. And you can't let anyone or any negativity influence your decision whether you want to go or not go with your dreams. It has to be something that you decided, and it has to be something that you decide on your own terms.
Amen.
So, you have to live your life for you, and then you can help everyone else. And so that song for me was kind of an encouraging song to live your life, like I always say, your lyrical life, the live, laugh, love, all of that, just positive, and just do it because you only have one to live.
Amen.
And you have to make it count.
Indeed. So the album boasts 18 tracks, varied styles, varied genres. What's the message that you're sending out to the listeners, and what do you wish your followers to take from this project or your music in general?
I wanted this project to be a very fun, chill, sexy output. And so the message that I'm sending to my followers is that music can do all those things. It can make you happy. It can make you sad. It can make you dance and all those things. To just see it through, to just go through it. Some of the songs is about not putting up with certain things. And another song is about not throwing the towel when there's a petty situation that can be resolved through communication. And another song is about, again, being focused. Another song is about just, being happy. And another song is about two people from different places coming together in spite of those differences. So my message is just to live life and see it through.
And where can we find your music? Where can all your followers get in touch with you?
Okay, on social media, I am at Eva Bittersweet, and that's EvaBitterSuite. On anything, Instagram, Facebook, and my website. Also, the music is on CD Baby, and it's going live on iTunes, Amazon, and all your favorite online, they're not calling it record these days, but digital stores, yeah. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you once again. Listen, have yourself a blessed day, and we'll speak again very soon. Thank you.
God bless. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me enormous pleasure to bring to you today Reggie Merricks and Noel Gordon. How you doing, gentlemen?
Doing very well. Blessed. Doing really good.
Hey.
Appreciate it.
Where are you hailing from, Reggie?
South Jersey. Willingboro, New Jersey, right outside of Philadelphia, about 15 minutes from Philly.
And yourself, Noel?
I originally hail from Brockton, Massachusetts, which is just outside of Boston, up north.
Our listeners here on iLIVE Radio and others worldwide has been waiting for this particular interview. And we know there are two massive tracks that is about to embark on us and blow away the UK like it never has before between yourselves, Reggie and Noel. But I want to talk to Noel just for a moment and get a little background on you, Noel. So being a naturally gifted singer who's very much conscious about the advancement of good soul music and music in general, I want to know what actually turned you on to the sound of soul.
The sound of soul, to me, it's just the honest and real. And for me, I use the word visceral for me because it gets really deep down for me. It can either cut you really bad or it can make you the happiest that you've ever been. From the first time that I've ever heard soul music that I can comprehend, when I could comprehend it, Pops was always playing soul music. So, that music, it made me smile from the first time I heard it. Either the soul, the feel of the chords, or the chordal progression, or those bass lines where you don't even need a drum track. The bass line can run it all by itself. It's just the music to me is just really true. And it doesn't matter what age you are, what creed you are, your color. It doesn't matter. Your social class. It just touches your heart in a way that a lot of other music doesn't seem like it can. So there's really no parallel for me for soul music. And I've always tried to make it as authentic as possible with the live instrumentation and the stuff that really gets down into your bones and your soul. So it's just true and honest to me. And that's what soul music is, man, for me.
Same question to you, Reggie. What turned you on?
For me, soul music is just a deeply spiritual vibe. It's like you hear something and it's the core and it's undescribable. Like, you're taken somewhere. You feel something that's undescribable. That's what soul is to me. It's not a genre necessarily, because I can hear soul and I can hear it in rock, because I was brought up listening to all types of different music, rock and you name it. In my household they were playing it. So To me, soul is not a genre. It's basically a feeling that you get when you hear music.
Precisely. I myself feel exactly how you just put it, Reggie. It's a feeling inside. So each and every one of us living has a soul, as it were. And it's a vibration. As you said, it's a feeling that just resonates through you. So it's not necessarily the music or as a genre as people would like to perceive it. Definitely, if you've got a soul, you can feel any type of vibration, whether it is percussion or strings or, someone singing, however it may be. It's just soulful.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Noel, your genuine love for soul R&B runs very deep. And I want to pose this question to the both of you. And if you can answer first, Noel, how do you feel about today's music and where the next generation is taking it?
Well, today's music, it kind of seems like it's conveyor belt type music, where it's like if something's hot and something's working, they seem to just try to remaster it and just keep it going to try to remake it over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem like anybody is really stemming to try to make anything new. They find something that works and they just stick with it. You know what I mean? And that's where it seems like the music industry has been stuck for a little while. It seems like it's starting to come back around, talking about, R&B and soul and such. And it feels pretty good. It seems like it's trying to get back on its rise. Strictly, I'm talking about in the U.S. right now.
Okay, well,
but I just think it lacks some integrity. I think it lacks effort. It seems like things are so minimalistic right now. There's really not a lot of ad-libs on records anymore. There's not a lot of harmonies. And, they typically find one phrase that works and then they continuously repeat it. I'm from a school where, you tell a story and it's not bad to have, 100 words in a hook. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I know, but I'm going to be devil's advocate in this and defend some of the youths. And there are some, however, it is a minority that has taken that influence from their elder peers and are doing it the right way. But specifically, it's the mumble rap, some of the trap, and those types of music there, where, as you said,
and you got the prostitution on wax. That's the other thing.
There you go. You said it, Reggie. So for you, Reggie, how do you feel? How's the next generation dealing with this? Where are they going?
I think it's like Noel was saying. I think it's coming back around to having music that's not necessarily just because people, they know if you're real or not. Mm-hmm. This stuff's not going to stay around. It's coming back to real musicianship, melodic. I look at new artists like her and Daniel Caesar and Lucky Day and some of these other new artists, and that gives me hope.
Yeah.
I think as a producer, I think where music is headed is you got to serve it in a certain way that's modern. You can't have the same type sounds in there, but if you add modern type sounds along with, some melody, I think music is actually going in that direction.
Yeah.
Melodical, but yet in a modern way, modern vibration.
Indeed. I've got a lot of hope. And I always trust in, things to, it's almost like Mother Nature, where you're going to get some bad product that comes out of it, but whole and solely it's kind of got to regurgitate and go back to how it originally was. So I've definitely got hope, and I know, especially within the indie artist industry at this present moment, there's a plethora of artists that are doing it the right way, and hopefully those youngers that's watching us in the game are definitely following suit.
True. And real quick, just to add to that, real quick, I think a lot of the real big AAA artists have missed the boat on trying to steer the boat back to where it should be.
Good call.
Because they kind of fell in line too. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And instead of trying to bring it back and use their influence to say, look, we did this for a little bit, but let us take the wheel and kind of steer it back to shore. And I don't think that most of them, I won't say no names, but I don't think they really took that opportunity that they could have done that.
For sure. Thank you for that. Yeah. Yourself, Reggie, soldiers in the game, been putting it out there from the get-go and doing it the right way. So you are what I call role models of the next generation and within the music industry. So people look up to you. You've got a plethora of music that you've produced, Reggie, and you've got some great albums and music that you put out there, Noel. So I want to go back to your very first release song back in 2008, River. This song for you, was such a tremendous hit that I noticed it actually surpassed yourself as an artist. How did that feel, like when your music actually takes over you as a being?
Yeah, it's something that's, it's kind of a little scary, but it's still exhilarating, and it has you in every moment, because every moment that somebody recognizes you and recognizes you for a record that kind of almost is much bigger than you are. It got bigger than my name and everything. So it was exciting. It was exhilarating. Yeah. It was, I was humbled by it, and it was a little scared, because as artists, we always try to outdo ourselves. It's just what it is. And when you come out the gate with a record like that holds number one spot on Billboard for 15 weeks and things of that nature, it's really tough. You got the record in movies and all of that kind of stuff. So, from that standpoint, it was scary, but it's a tremendous honor to be able to have somebody say it's one of the best songs they've ever heard. And, it's something that makes them think about their first love and such, and think about special moments in their lives. And that right there transcends everything. You know what I mean? So from there, I can at least say I had one. You know what I mean? So, from there on, I try to scratch a little something different in the rocks and see what I could pull out.
Cool. So give us some details, Reggie. Where can we get hold of you? Where can all your fans follow you? Give us some details.
My Facebook is just Reggie Myrix, REGIMYRIX. That's my Facebook account. Twitter, it's IWNP. IG is REGIMYRX. Excellent. And Noel, what can we look forward from you in the near coming future? I mean, obviously you've got these two here, but what's coming in the near future?
Well, I got some things cooking in the States right now. There's some potential deals on the table, whether it be EP, single, or LP type deal. So, all y'all stay tuned for that. Oh yeah. Definitely going to be doing more music with my man Reggie Myrix, because I think we just have a thing together. There's like a niche that we hit. True. You know what I mean? Whenever we get together and do some music. So, it just feels right.
Let me just interject a second. Yeah. You know what would be great? To see you guys, both of you, come over here to the UK and put on something phenomenal. That would be a good look.
We'll be over there as soon as we're summoned. If we get that summons, then we're going to be there. You know what I mean? I want to make some people pound on some walls. You know how I go.
Most definitely. I love that. And where can all your...
some other film things in the pipeline and all of that. So, I'm really excited about what's happening right now. And, looking forward to the future.
Fantastic. And let us know where all your fans and followers can get hold of yourself.
Okay, on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Noel Gourdin, NoelGourdin. On Facebook, it's The Real Noel Gourdin. So, it's at, then the, and then a space, then real, and you'll be able to find me, The Real Noel Gourdin. Yeah, so just hit me up. I like to, read all comments. I read as many as I can in a straight WAP when I'm stationary for a little bit. So, I like to respond and talk with my fans and supporters and followers and such. So, hit me up.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, it's been an honor, a privilege, a pleasure talking to you both.
I appreciate all you guys, the opportunity that you guys just presented to us. And Jairzinho, definitely, you're a monster in the game.
Thank you.
The support that you've been giving the indie community of artists has been incredible. So keep doing your thing, brother. Most
definitely. Again, thank you guys, and we'll hook up very soon. Have a blessed day, and good luck. People, support these two projects coming up. More importantly, get out there and cop this music right now. Low Down, Loving You Up, Reggie Myrix, Noel Gourdin. Thank you guys, goodbye, and God bless.
Appreciate it. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me enormous pleasure to bring to you today, right here on iLIVE Radio, the one, the only Music Caroline. How you doing?
Hey! I'm great. I'm having a great day.
Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Thank you very much, first of all, for giving up your time, your precious time, to give us this interview right here on iLIVE Radio. It's great. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. So let's start with telling all the listeners out there exactly who you are and your foundation, where you come from. You're a soul jazz artist, born in Dallas, Texas, but raised in Houston. Am I right?
Yes, born in Dallas, raised in Houston, Texas. I've lived in Chicago, but now I call LA my home. So I've kind of been around the States a little bit in terms of where I live, but home is Houston, Texas.
Okay, cool. I want you to tell the listeners out there exactly where you're coming from.
My mother is a gospel choir director, so I grew up having to sing in the church every Sunday.
There we go.
And hating it.
You hated it?
And then
hold on. You hated it?
It became a thing where I felt like people only wanted me to sing.
Okay.
And so I started to shy away from that because I just wanted people to say hi and not, you know, what are you going to sing this Sunday? So throughout my childhood, I had to deal with that.
Wow.
Yeah. And then my father was someone who would blast music. I mean, he would get tickets from the police because he would blast music driving down the street. That was his thing.
Seriously?
And so, yes, you know, some people ride their bikes with their father or they go to the park.
You was picking up tickets from the police.
We would get in the car and we would drive around and listen to music all day and sing at the top of our lungs.
Your father sounds like a fun father, man. Like, turn it up to the top, don't care, just, you know, whether you're in a drop top or not, but the windows are down and you're just like pumping out that music. What type of music was he playing?
It was soul music, other than the Beach Boys, but other than that, it was, you know, Soul Man, it was Sam Cooke, it was just a lot of just really old, you know, Temptations, Diana Ross. He was such a huge Diana Ross fan, and very, very little but jazz. And so, you know, there's not a lot of Nancy Wilson that will have you singing at the top of your lungs and blasting it out of the car, but he had a little bit of it.
Okay.
And I started to really have a love for that, for those subtle love stories. You know, your parents won't sit you down. They won't tell you those full love stories, but Nancy Wilson had a way of telling a love story that you thought you were there.
That's right.
It was like watching it on television.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's what I started to really create a thirst for, because my mother was giving me all the gospel I could handle. My dad was giving me all the soul music and the R&B, you know, old school R&B that I could handle. But those little moments of jazz I was really into. And so as I got older, I delved deeper into loving jazz music.
Excellent. So was you sent to a school where you were trained to sing vocally or anything like this?
Actually, my middle school career was at a performing arts school. It's kind of a performing arts school where you guys may not know, but a number of really familiar acts in the Houston area are from. And so a lot of people went to this school. The name of the middle school is Johnston Middle School, and it was a fine arts middle school, and that's where I learned to play the clarinet. Wow. That was my first instrument. And I was also in jazz, like a jazz choir, and as well as the main choir. And so that's where I got my classical training.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so that classical training, obviously it resonates in your music of today and of music that you've done in the past. You can definitely tell the change and the maturity in your voice as years has gone past. So at this present moment, right now, people are listening to your debut solo album, which was released in March, I believe.
Fireworks and Ocean Waves.
Doing the business here in the UK, I must add. What's been your feedback over where you are in the United States?
It's been amazing. You know, here in the States, a lot of the music that is popular is about breakups. Or is about kind of being independent, kind of doing your own thing, and hey, you know, getting what you want. It's a very selfish touch of soul music, you know. I loved creating this album because it really was about just saying thank you and being in gratitude for the love that you have, and kind of finding
the ideal moments in every relationship, because yes, there are bad relationships, but in every good relationship, there are moments of gratitude that we should have that are not just about us.
Indeed.
You know, that they're about the other person. It's about just being in that other person's presence. It's about missing them when they leave and those types of things. And so I needed to put together this, what I'll call vacation version of soul music that doesn't talk about the heartbreak, but just celebrates the love.
Right,
you know?
Exactly. Talking about relationships, you actually toured with your husband, is that correct?
Yes, my husband and I used to sing together in a group called Tanique.
Tanique, there you go, yeah.
Tanique, yes. So in 2008, we released our debut album,
That's right.
The Life and Times of Love. And so we've always worked together, but here later we've been working on a family. So we have 3 children now.
Naturally.
And yes, naturally. And so this album too was just my way of getting back out there, kind of putting my perspective of love songs out there on my own. And it's been so good because obviously he's inspired some of the songs and worked on some of the songs with me, but I also was able to bring in new producers, and that's been great as well.
I want to go to a quote that you've put up there. There are more love songs about butterflies and breakups than there are about fireworks and ocean waves, which I see as the space in between, where love and life happen and you experience and endure it together. That there, very, very touching.
As I said, I had the gift of a mother and a father who were together. And I don't remember a lot about the beginning or the end because I've never experienced that, right? I've only seen them as my mother and my father, and I've seen them go through life's changes. And so the love that I see with them is more about this stability. It's more about the beauty of looking. So fireworks, when you look at them from far off, they're beautiful to watch. You usually don't talk. They're not too loud if they're just far off enough, but you can kind of hear them a little bit. But the point is to just look at it and enjoy the scenery, right? And then the same thing with ocean waves. You sit right on the shore and you just watch. It's a beautiful sight, right? But if you get too close and you try to manipulate them and you try to do your own thing, it can literally kill you.
Very true.
You know, if you don't have respect for those ocean waves and you get out there and you just want to swim and do whatever you want to do without thinking about the current or, you know, all these things, then you have a problem.
You have to be cautious.
The same thing with fireworks. If you get too close, it's too loud for your ears, you know, or if you don't handle them well, you can get burned. And so for me, these songs are about kind of just appreciating what you have and not trying to get too deep and too close and all that and analyze it and all that stuff. Just look at it and enjoy where you are in it, you know?
You know what? Just listening to your inspiration, just to listen to all the w's.musiccarolan.com. Check it out. Read her bio, see her EPK pack, and some lovely, lovely pictures on there as well. Okay, support your independent artists. Music Carolan.
Yes.
Hey. Once again, it's a pleasure being able to talk to you. Thank you again for giving up your time. And, you know, people like yourself, we need to hear more of you. So, you know, please keep rising, keep doing what you're doing, keep networking and keep the faith, as it were.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. I receive all of that.
Indeed. Have yourself a lovely day, lovely weekend. Goodbye and God bless. Speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Good evening, Gene and P. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. All the better to hear your voice now. All the better to hear your voice. First of all, let me look at you and say thank you very much for coming into iLIVE UK.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Indeed. You've only been there for a couple of weeks so far. How
Just
long
a week.
Just a week so
today,
far.
Yeah.
A week today.
Yeah.
Your first time in the UK?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. How are you finding it?
Oh, it's great. Everybody's really friendly, and it's a beautiful city, and I've been enjoying sort of exploring the different areas and trying all the different food, and it's wonderful.
So if you've seen it online, guys, if you're friends of Gina, you'd see she's posted up a few photos of her escapade around the whole of London and parts of the UK as well. Listen, most people who come to the UK don't get to see a lot of the stuff that you've seen, you know.
Really?
So looking at some of your pictures, like the first picture I saw, you was over in Brixton to begin with.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold on. Gina is in the UK. The next picture I saw, you was at Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
Then you ended up in Oxford Street somewhere. Then you was out of town, some country. So I was like, this woman is getting around. In the good sense, mind you. You're getting around.
Absolutely.
It's fabulous. You was over here with your friend, your besties.
Yeah.
Who's that?
That was Jeanette.
Yeah,
we've been besties for 31 years.
Woo!
So we had to do, sort of a girls' trip.
Of course.
And then I'm going to spend a week with another friend of mine who relocated here from Toronto, another musician. And we're going to hang out up in Banbury.
In Banbury?
Yeah.
Wow. But so Banbury is like going towards west, past Reading, up those sort of sides. So you're going up to the West Country as well.
Yeah.
Anywhere else you need to hit before you go back to Toronto?
Yeah, I think we're going to check out Bristol.
Oh my gosh.
Some Wales.
I was only joking.
Make the most of it.
Of course, most definitely. And you've got good weather for it as well. So, you know,
it's been perfect.
It's been perfect indeed.
Yeah.
You came from Toronto. Are you originally a Toronto Canadian native?
No, I'm from Sarnia originally, which is on the border with Michigan, USA. So I grew up on Detroit radio for the first 20 or so years and made my way to Toronto after I started singing. So.
Fantastic. But now Toronto is like your home.
That's my home now.
That's your home now.
It's been almost a decade.
When last was you back in Michigan?
Actually, really recently. I just went, just to visit. My parents are still in Sarnia, so big up over to Michigan.
Big up let me say this correct, Penasy. See, I said it earlier, and now it just went out of my head. Penasy.
For the record, you did.
I want to say good. Thank you very much. I want to say a big shout out to all the Penasy family around the entire world right about now. I love UK. We got your girl up in here, Gina. Gina, let the listeners know how you became the soulstress, the singer that you are, the vocalist that you've become. Where did it all start?
Well, I started out in choir in school, and I learned to do harmonies from my mom. So singing in the car, ABBA.
Yeah.
Learned to do harmonies. And then I just started maybe about 10 years ago. I just ventured out to try to go to some jams and see what would happen, and I got a great response, and it just sort of went from there. But it was because I got such a great reception in Toronto.
Yeah.
The first jam that I went to, the people there were so great, and the other musicians, and because they were so welcoming, it just encouraged me to keep going.
Fantastic.
And now I've grown this amazing network, and it's been amazing.
So 10 years nowadays is not a long time.
It's not.
But you've made such an impact. And there's a lot of people that will be singing for their entire life and they just don't get nowhere at all. And that's either you're good or you're not good. Yeah, there's no kind of grey area with that. Or is there?
Well, yeah, that's tough to say. I mean, I wish I would have had more training than I have, but the choir I was in for maybe 12 years off and on, and that sort of gave me the basis. And I think, if it's about, there's good and then there's also the pursuit.
Okay.
Right? You know, you got to network. You have to get out there and make your own luck and make things happen. So,
right. So the reason why I say that is because I watched the X Factor and various other. If you're good and you know you've had your training, I'm going to say you're good and you should go in there. But I've heard some atrocious. I've heard some good, but I've heard some atrocious people on there, and they've claimed to be singing all their life. And I'm like, really? Has your family or friends not ever tapped you on the back and said, okay, maybe this one is not for you?
Yeah, I think sometimes there are folks that have not been surrounded by honest people.
Yeah.
But
definitely. Like yourself, from kind of the get-go, you've had that backing and then you've surrounded yourself in a particular type of network and they've been truthful and honest to you. So here you are now. I mean, look. We don't mess about here, iLIVE. We say it as it is. What you get on the tin is what's going to be inside. So if we're telling you that Gina P is hot, she is hot, all right? So no, it's, on the real though, you know,
thank you.
You can see and hear talent when you hear it.
I do, yes.
So pat yourself on the back. You know what I mean?
You're so sweet.
You're great. You're great.
You're listening to iLIVE Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a musical icon, a living legend of soul, R&B, funk, and Motown. Let me introduce you, out of Flint, Michigan, US of A. Ladies and gentlemen, Marva King. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I have to give you that massive intro because you are who you are. How have you been? How's your day going so far?
Oh, it's going wonderful. I just made it to the UK, so I'm excited about that. Great weather.
Great. Oh, wow. You're the first person to say great weather. Most people come over to the UK. It's like, oh, is this it?
No, for today it's really good weather. I hear
Yes.
it gets better this week, so I'm excited about that too.
There we go. 100%. So I'm going to jump straight into this, jump straight into the deep end, and let's just get this on, okay? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so you're best known for your role in Tyler Perry's Diary of a Mad Black Woman, plus as a dancer and percussionist with Prince and the New Generation. You're a host of your own cooking show, The Soul Love, and probably explored almost every avenue of entertainment.
I've tried, I won't say every, but many aspects of entertainment. Some people call me a triple threat, some call me a quadruple threat. I love it all.
Yeah, no, embrace it.
Yes.
Embrace it. Oh, that's fantastic. So, like, before we go down your musical roots, I want to allow the listeners of iLIVE Radio to learn how you were selected for the role of Helen Simmons McCarter in Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Well, actually, someone who worked for Prince, who collected box, we ran into each other in Las Vegas airport. We were passing like ships in the night. He mentioned that there's something that they wanted me to do, but he didn't say what. And I'm thinking it's something related to music and the music industry.
Right.
Well, he called me a few days later only to tell me that it was a stage production. And I wasn't that happy about it because I didn't want to do that. But they stayed on me for about 2 weeks. And before I knew it, I was at Tyler Perry's home in Atlanta. And I did a table read, and next thing you know, I was hired for the position as Helen, which is the lead role, which was originally written for Millie Jackson. And I was really honored once I got out there on that stage and just saw the interaction with the audience. And, you know, I said, I'm so glad I accepted it because I've never had so much fun in my life. That was crazy up there. Because not only do I get to sing, but I got a chance to impromptu do comedy and comedic skits and dialogue, and it was just so much fun.
Awesome.
You know,
it looked like you had a lot of fun.
Oh my God. We never knew what each other were going to say, so... You know, it was fun. That was a lot of fun.
You know, my favorite parts of watching any Tyler Perry movie is the outtakes at the end where they've put in the bloopers and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. But I must say, as Helen Simmons, you nailed that. Awesome.
Thank you.
Well done. You also done the soundtrack to that, didn't you? Ain't It Funny? There you go. Ain't It
Funny, I did. I don't think that they used my version of it for the soundtrack, but it was recorded as well for the soundtrack. It was a beautiful song. It's one of the few songs that I did in the production.
Okay. I mentioned a little earlier, you host your own cooking entertainment show called Soul Love, which infuses soul music and soul food. Now, before you explain all about that, I've watched 10 minutes of it, which the 10-minute version that you've got, and we need more of that. If you're listening in right now, you need to open up another tab, not right now, but a little bit later on, and type in Marva King. She has her own channel, and check out Soul Love. Yeah, music, food. It makes you just want to kind of just like curl up and get inside the TV. So explain how that came about and what it's all about. Let the listeners know.
Well, you know what? I wrote the song Soul Love because of the fact that I love to cook so much. And then I think about, you know, I'm very passionate. I'm even, you know, kind of, I won't say sensational, but I think that combining food and romance, it's sensuous. I think together those are passionate things. Like they said, a way to a man's heart is his stomach and all that. Well, a way to a woman's heart is their stomach too sometimes.
Same way, of course.
But
and rubbing of the feet occasionally and
right, of course, and all the rest of it. But the thing is, I do love to cook and I do love music. So I put those two things together, and I talked about soul food in a song. People say it makes me hungry. And I created the show after that and said, I'm going to make a show and call it Soul Love, because I grew up cooking soul foods from the Midwest, you know, Southern cuisine, which in my family from both my Southern-based parents.
Right.
But that's how it all came about. And Lionel Richie, I've cooked for him. I've cooked for pretty much everybody I've worked for at some point or the other. And I told him I wanted to do a cooking entertainment show. Cool. And he helped me to finance it. And I shot a pilot and got all kinds of crazy offers. But I'm finally getting ready to sign a contract and actually shoot episodes, not just one, of the show, and put it out there with a lot of entertainment, a lot of fun, a lot of education about health, nutrition, and then about the food. But I don't just cook soul food, and I say that in my pilot. I cook all different nationalities of food. Like while I'm here, I'm going to prepare some island dishes and in honor of the carnival.
Hey!
So I'll be doing that.
Well, I'm going to be jumping in the car and make my way over to you to get some home-cooked food from Marva
That's
King.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, indeed. Also, I've noticed that you do a facial something or the other product?
Well, what I do is I show people how they can take some of the same foods that they eat, and you can use it as a beauty regimen.
Hey.
And I practiced all of that and made sure that was a part of my whole routine with the cooking show. That's what I made sure of.
Awesome.
So I did that, as well.
Okay.
Sorry for the noise.
No problem. You, as I said, just do you, man. This is informal. It's just two old friends having a good talk. That's what it is. No one else is listening.
That's right.
Apart from the 140,000 across the world. There we go. No, so your musical roots stem back decades. Okay, so without giving away the years that you've been blessed with, how? Yeah, I don't want to go there. Like, how has being a professional singer, songwriter, musician been treating you over the years? How's that been for you?
Well, it's been good. There's a lot of things. You know, me, I am a rebel. That's what, Prince used to say, you're a rebel like me. So I really fight for a lot of things, and I oppose a lot of things that I think that are unfair, whether it's to the singer, the songwriter, to the producers. This industry isn't always 100% kind to those that create the music.
Indeed.
Those who market and sell the music and actually end up retaining the rights to a lot of projects. They've had a good run. But I love the indie world. That's what I love so much about it. Prince, people like that have helped to advocate being independent and doing your own thing and owning your masters and such on and so forth. But the thing is, I've had a great time. I've had a great run. I've watched many different genres of music come and go. I've watched some of them fuse. I've watched some go and then come back. Like R&B is really big again in the States.
Yeah.
And it hadn't been big in like a couple decades. So I've enjoyed the ride, the journey. I've morphed many times with my styles of music that I write and compose and even some perform. But I pretty much stay true to funk, R&B, and soul. I pretty much do that because that's who I genuinely am. But whatever I can incorporate that kind of gives it a nice little flair or a zing to it, I incorporate that in my music as well. So I have to say, it's been a great run for me. I've worked with great people. I've improved as a writer, as a producer, It's a good journey for me.
Awesome. So it's no secret that you have been blessed to work with many of the great artists of our time. Let me just go through a little, all right? Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson, Phil Collins, Shaka Khan, Whitney Houston, Jimmy Cliff, Anita Baker, Stevie Wonder, Tupac, Mr. Biggs of the Isley Brothers, Prince, George Duke, Stanley Clarke, and the list goes on. It's endless.
It does.
It's endless. So as one of the greats of our generation, what keeps you grounded and humble?
First of all, first thing come to mind is my creator, God. Keeps me very grounded.
Amen.
Keeps me very humble because there's no power greater than He. So that keeps me, whenever I start thinking about, oh, you've done amazing, or people compliment me, then I go, but gosh, guess who's greater? I always remind myself of that, and I'm starting to make that more and more of a habit. And I'm glad, because it does keep me humble. It does keep me grounded. It does keep me real. I still enjoy my friends. I got very humble friends and associates, and you know, people are always thinking, oh, I bet she's so Hollywood. And then they go, wow, you're down to earth. And I'm just trying to stay there for now until I sprout those wings.
There you go, by the grace of God. Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. Oh, I love that. I love that. So, Marva, I could ask you all the normal questions like, what's your biggest highlight of your career? What do you like to do on your days off, etc.? But today, I'm going to steer clear of all of those and simply put this to you. A child sees or hears you singing, maybe acting, or just being the role model that you are in the community. What advice do you give them in staying on the correct path and ensuring they have a prosperous future?
Well, again, as I said with myself, I would definitely put the higher power first. Stay focused on serving Him, being grateful for whatever He's done, and not let anything distract you from that goal. Because with that, you will find out all good comes from the Creator. All good. And if you have any desires, talents, or anything like that, all of it turns into a great thing when you stay focused, because there's supernatural powers there. That's my key right now. And I wish I had focused on it even greater when I was younger, but I'm good now. You know, so I would say that, because with that comes a shield of protection, you know, the negativity that surrounds all of us, you know, because there's negative everywhere, just like there's positive, but it keeps a shield that keeps, especially the younger ones, I'm really concerned about, a protection around them. It keeps them focused. It keeps them honest with themselves and then with others too. And with that, nothing but greatness comes from that. So that's what I would say. And whatever talent or skill you feel, just put in the time. You know, put in the time and hone your skill and perfect it and just work on it and just have fun while you're doing it, because that's where the greatest things come out. It's when you're enjoying yourself.
Yes.
So I would say all those things.
Yes. That last statement that you said there, enjoy yourself. Focus, but enjoy, because too many of us run around. We all do it. We get stressed out about one thing or another, but we forget the most important thing of enjoying. And then, you know, illness takes us, and then unfortunate for some people pass away, and then it's like, I wish I had. Right.
Yes. And we don't want that.
No, definitely not. So there you go, people. Enjoy, appreciate life as you have it. Okay, Marva, it's been a blessing having you. You've given me so much knowledge. Look forward to chopping up with you again and seeing you perform this coming weekend. Indeed. Is there anyone that you'd like to give a big shout out to?
Well, of course.
Hey.
I could not get off of this interview without giving thanks and appreciation to both Key Jam and to Gary Vandenbush.
Most definitely. So big shout out goes out to Key Jam Magic and also Gary Vandenbush. Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Thank you guys. And a huge thank you to you as well, though.
Oh, thank you.
Because without you, the listeners wouldn't hear me.
This is true. Thank you very much.
Yes, I look forward to meeting you in person.
Blessings. Take good care and enjoy the UK.
Thank you. I'm definitely doing that. I'm taking it all in. That's what someone in United States said. Take it in. I'm taking it all in.
Take it all in. Woosa.
Woosa. Yeah.
Stay blessed, love. Take care.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me enormous pleasure today, right here on iLIVE UK. I have the one and only, the sensational, out of the UK, Shayla Prosper. How are you, dear? You are a superstar in my eyes, anyway. In my eyes, most definitely. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. That was a fabulous entry to your show. Thank you. I feel very special.
You are. Oh gosh. It's an honor to have you here. A lot of people has been asking me, when are we going to get an interview with Shayla? Well, it's here today.
Aww.
And in sync with that, people who are listening today, you may be wondering, well, how is he managing to speak to her, but at the same time, they're meant to be at Hideaway, where the event's taking place?
We can do magic, guys.
We can do magic. Yeah, I said last week at the end of my show that I'm going to be in 2 places at once. So I'm here, 2 places at once. So hello to all those people around the world who's watching my Facebook at the Hideaway and also listening to me on iLIVE UK and Toronto at the same time. Big up.
Well, hello, guys. Hello, who's listening?
Indeed.
Let's give them some information.
Let's give them some information. So Shayla, being from the UK, R&B singer, songwriter from right here in London, I've read that your inspiration comes from your mother, her country music, and your father's reggae.
Well, it's a combination.
Yeah.
Yes, my dad was into Gregory Isaacs, Dennis Brown, and my mum loved Dolly Parton and Jim Reeves. So, we used to get a bit of a selection on a Sunday. We'd have country music in the morning.
Right.
By midday, we'd be listening to reggae, and come the evening, it's calypso.
Can I
I think that's indicative of most Caribbean
However,
households.
You just mentioned something talking about country music. And a little birdie tells me, I didn't actually realize until maybe a couple of months ago, that we share a little bit of heritage.
Do we?
Yes. So your parents are from St. Lucia?
That's correct.
Right. And my mother's from St. Lucia. So sakafet to you.
Sakafet dudu,
And unfortunately, that's unfortunately that's about how as far as my vocabulary goes. Because that's it. I'm not going no further. Okay.
No, we're not having this conversation in patois.
No, definitely, definitely not. But we share that heritage. So it's good to see a sister from the motherland, as it were, from where our parents come from. Big
and they love a bit of country.
Oh yes,
back there. Oh my gosh,
yes.
They love Celine Dion and all of that.
Exactly. I've done many a party where Mum plays some Jim Reeves and some Dolly Parton and they're there dancing and all that kind of stuff. Was you caught up in all of that? Was you had to dance with your uncles and aunts and all that kind of stuff?
Oh yes,
right.
I was. There was no escape. There was no escaping. If you sitting down, you got drugged off.
Yeah, most definitely.
But to be fair, listening to those songs and listening to even the reggae songs, they were songs, they were lyrics, they were structure, they had meaning.
I was going to say,
they were sung with emotion, they were sung with, every song told a story.
You know what I would like to hear? I would like to hear them kind of revitalize country music for us younger folk. I don't know if it's possible. People are probably looking at their radios like, what are you talking about? But come on, man.
Well, country music is big at the moment.
It is. It's always been big.
The sounds has changed. It's not quite as our parents did it. It's changed quite a lot. It's quite popular now.
Okay.
And I think you'll find that quite a lot of it is probably listenable.
Right. Would Shayla Prosper consider doing a country song?
Not really.
Not
at the moment.
That's not your lane.
On my first album, In My Shoes,
there's
a song on there called Crazy, which has a slight tinge of country sort of esque to it. It's not country at all.
Yeah.
But some of the structure of the song.
Interesting.
Could fall into that category.
You make me want to go back and listen to that again now through different ears.
Yeah. Okay. Go and listen to it. I think it might be track 12 or something like that. But
cool.
Yeah, it's got that kind of vibe to it.
Okay, so your grounding is country music and calypso, as you said. You also, growing up, was in love with the Motown era and all that kind of stuff, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, as I got a little bit older, my mum would listen to the radio and, you know, I discovered Motown. I was like, oh, what's this? It was music again. It was songs with emotion.
Okay.
But it had a different vibe. It had a different feel, and I just got caught up in it. And at that point is when I was really interested in music. I think I was about 6, maybe younger. But then I started to mimic the singers, and that's how I kind of taught myself to sing.
Yeah,
I say taught myself. There must have been an element of a natural ability there because my brothers sang. But for me to learn how to use my voice, I just used to mimic every song, and try and hit the licks and go over it and over and over it until I got it.
So of that era, growing up 6, going on 16, let's say, who was your main inspirations that you would take your brush and sing in a mirror and try and do?
I would not say there was any one person. There was not any one person. I just loved music. I used to watch. I mean, they had music shows on the TV. I'd be all into that.
Yeah.
I just remember that's what I want to do. I want to be on that stage. That's what I want to be doing.
Okay.
And I can do it as well as they can.
Awesome.
That's all I remember as a child, And, it's only when you become an adult that people tell you, the realities of life and why don't you get a proper job that you sort of crushes all your dreams.
That's right. Indeed. Let's talk about your first album, In My Shoes. Your debut album. It was significant for us here in the UK and where it got released in Japan.
I've had so many interviews where DJs have talked about this first album, and we were so, and still are, very proud of that album. But because social media as it is now was not then, it was very difficult to gauge how successful it was and how people took to it, because now, I know what DJs are playing and how often they're playing it, but I feel like I didn't know that then.
Well, see, this is, you make a valid point, because I'm saying this now and I'm giving you all the praise for what you've done over the years, because we never know the day when, the powers that be close our eyes. So I want to give you that praise now for all the work that you've done in the past. Any artist that I can see that's, been around for a long time and has created a legacy, I am definitely going to give them props for what they've done.
I give thanks that I've come back to do it, because I hadn't intended to. It just kind of happened.
Right.
So the second album, which came 17 years later, Back to Life.
Back to Life, there we go, yep.
And it just kind of manifested out of a couple of backing tracks that I thought, okay, maybe I'll go and do some open mic. But again, when that album came out, the response was so positive. I was kind of taken aback, because...
But half of the work is done when you as a person are a people person, and you give off that kind of energy that leaves people wanting more or just liking you.
Do you know what? I'm so grateful. I'm always really quite thankful and overwhelmed and really touched when, it's a big deal for me when I hear that someone's played a song. I mean, the other day, I think I counted about 5 different songs that I know was played.
Oh, wow.
Be the best. That is a moment.
Okay.
Now I've kind of got the bug back.
Yeah.
Just trying to do it independently with this music industry, which is no longer as we know it.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but I want to know about your relationship with the Full Crew production team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what's your relationship with them? And I know it's been a very long one, but obviously, sometimes we always give the props to the artist, which we should do. But
it's not just me.
Yeah,
it's the whole team of us.
Of course,
I cannot take any of the credit.
So give us a little bit of background there.
They're disbanded now, but they're producers in their own right. They're touring musicians or engineers. They're putting out more music. elsewhere. So Michael Daly, who was part of Full Crew, he did most of In My Shoes, along with Wayne Laws and Ricardo Reed. Ricardo Reed, who I'm working with now on some new tracks, and who he's in the band for our Soul Fest live gig.
Indeed.
And Phil Nugent, who sort of ran the whole Full Crew Productions. He, in partnership with me, put out Back to Life. So we did that together. It was mostly me, him, and Everest Pellias, who is a singer in his own right. And he did I can do for
Sing it, girl. Sing it, girl.
Can't nobody love you. Can't do for
okay.
But he did that track. So he only did one track on the album. But it's funny how this new album, Back to Life, which was 2017.
No, it's new, man. It's still new.
He did loads of songs on there.
Yeah.
And Michael Daly did one. But this new album that I've got coming out, it might be an album, might be an EP. Ricky's got about 3, 4, 5 tracks on there. Daly's got 2. And I'm working with producers I haven't worked with before. So Full Crew, it's like family, really.
Yes. Tell me a little bit about Family, because that is a monumental track. When that got released, and myself and every I'm telling you, listen, I know for a fact when that tune hit, everybody here stood up on their arms. Seriously, man, it's the lyrics behind it.
I never wrote that one. I can't take the credit. Phil Nugent wrote that track.
Listen, take credit for it, please take credit. Big up Phil.
I'll take credit for singing it,
because as a team working in cohesion, you all delivered on that particular track.
That was me singing, Phil writing and producing, and Everest producing as well. So but we had fun with that song. We had a battle in the studio with that song.
Oh wow. Tell me all about it.
The results was worth it. No, I can't. We all nearly fell out and
come on,
started laughing at the end.
Okay.
It was one of them ones.
Another phenomenal.
Everyone had their mood on, man.
Okay.
And I was like, seriously, listen to the song.
Really?
So we had to fix up and have a bit of chocolate. We all had a bit of chocolate and calm down.
Yeah, as you do. You also done a cover of Sister Sledge's classic "Thinking of You."
Thinking of You,
Wow. What made you pick that track in particular?
I did not pick that track. This is how that track came about.
Wow.
I turned up at studio with Everest.
Yeah.
We had a whole different song planned to do. Everest told me, I had a dream last night. I said, did you? He says he had a dream and the song came to him in the dream.
Yeah.
And he got up out of his bed and he started tinkering and he came up with an idea and he thinks it will be wicked. So he told me it was a cover, because I'm not a cover girl.
Okay.
Told me it was a cover. I was like, my face already dropped. I was like, oh, no. Anyway, he played me the music.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I love the production. I don't know what song. And then he just started singing the song. And I was like, wowee, that works. And so he said, no, but this will work even better if you lay your voice on it.
There we go.
So I said, okay, let's try it. We tried it. And at that time, it was just me and Everest working on that album.
Yeah.
We did that and we played it to Phil. And that's when he jumped on board on the project, hearing that track.
Oh, wow. Wow, you're hearing it right here first. iLIVE UK. If you didn't know, now you know. So, to me, you are a big major superstar, because when in my younger days, raving to your music.
We're gonna end up at the Grammys. You watch.
Well, I'll be front.
Hold it up for the UK.
Yeah, indeed. I'll be front row center. Woo, Shay. I'll be bringing down the tone. It's like, no, I won't.
We can all do that together.
Oh yeah, and we will definitely. Let's talk about. As I said, you are a great yourself, but you've worked with some of the greats in the UK and the US. Let's name a few of them: Melba Moore, Joyce Sims, the great All My Life Fook, Lovers Rock sensation Janet Kay.
Oh yeah,
come on, man!
Opportunity to fill a stage with these people.
Yeah,
amazing. They are legends, and And the thing is, I've got to come on before them, so I'm, starstruck myself. And then I've got to go and do my thing.
See.
I mean, the best advice I got years ago, I can't remember the name of the club, but I was going on stage, and I think it was Alton Ellis.
Oh wow!
Was on after me.
Yeah.
And I think he saw I was a bit nervous.
Yeah.
And he said, "Listen, when you get up there, you own that stage. You're in control. You work that stage, and they need to know that you're there." So he gave me some really good words of advice, about how to control like your fear, and because it's nerve-wracking going on stage. We all get a bit anxious and anxiety before we go on, but when you hit stage, it's different.
Yeah, okay.
I really appreciated that advice, and when I came off stage and I watched him do his performance, that's when I learned something. I was like, okay, I see what he means. Because you just got to be confident, whether the crowd know who you are or not. You've just got to be confident in who you are and yourself.
Truly. Which leads me to my next question. So you've been given advice by one of the great icons, and you're in your own lane right now, and a lot of people are looking to you. What advice would you give one of the youngers who's trying to break through into the industry right now?
Learn your craft. I mean, to be fair, it's about attitude. You've just got to don't think of yourself better than you actually think you are.
Okay.
Don't think of yourself more highly than you think you are. You've got to be humble. You've got to practice. You've got to network. You've just got to want it bad enough, because this can be a thankless industry right now, because there's so much music out there and there's so many artists. You're one in a gazillion.
Oh yeah.
So you've just got to stay true to yourself. Don't try and do what anyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Because really and truly, when I came to do this, it was like, there was pointers, so-and-so's doing this, so-and-so's doing that. And I was quite stubborn. I was like, I don't care what they're doing.
Good.
This is the song I've written. This is the vibe that I got. This is what God gave me this morning.
Right.
I don't care what anyone, just because that's the only way. You can only be you. You can only be good at being you, and that's the advice
Stay focused and believe in the success that's coming to you.
You have to believe, and that's the thing. I didn't have that for a long time. I didn't believe that I had anything. I thought I can sing a little bit.
Yeah.
You've got to believe in yourself, and you've got to believe that, you're doing something that is going to affect someone in a positive way.
Okay. We're going to take a little break. We're going to continue speaking. Before we do go into a break, I want you to explain to me about your latest track that's out there right now, entitled You're Rich. How did that come about, and what inspired you to write this particular track?
This song actually came about from, we all kind of have ups and downs in life. And I'm good at giving advice. I'm good at listening.
Good.
I'm good at counselling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we can get stuck in a groove, but you can't see anything else but the problem if there's a problem.
Yes.
All you're focused on is the problem, and meanwhile, the rest of your life, boom. But your focus is taking over your whole situation. They're not functioning properly, mentally, emotionally.
That's right.
Because they're focused on the wrong thing. And no matter what you say or do, until they see that for themselves, it's pointless. So I just thought, there's lots of people out there who's just, we're rich in so many ways. When you turn on the news, man, come on. So I just started writing this
particular track. It reminded me of when my grandmother used to say to me, son, look, we might not have a lot of money and, the material stuff and all that, but we are rich. And I never understood it until later on in life. And I thought, do you know what? I got people that love me. I got people that care about me. So regardless of everything else,
you got your health.
I've got my health. There we go. So I'm rich in all these things. So why am I worrying about all the other ups and downs?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's just trying to keep your mind balanced. Because we all get negative thoughts. We all get moments where things aren't working, but you just got to keep pushing through. You got to throw out those thoughts and replace it with good ones.
Indeed.
And even if you have to lie to yourself
and open your mouth and say something positive,
That's
you
right,
do
of
start
course.
to believe it. You say
Very
often
true.
enough, and then it changes your whole focus.
Indeed.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, it's been really, really nice chopping it up with you.
I'd just like to say to your listeners, please support forthcoming music that I have coming out.
Hey.
It'll either be by the end of this year or the start of next year. There will be fresh, new music. There's new producers that I'm working with as well as older ones, and it's sounding wicked.
Awesome.
I am so excited about it.
People,
That's all I can say.
make sure you support, as we always say around here, support independent artists 24/7, 365 in any capacity that you can, whether it be buying their material, going to see them at a show, or spreading the word about them.
You're listening to iLIVE Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you tonight, Yanis, Gwen Yvette,
Hey. What's up?
Tony,
Hey.
and also Miss Lovely.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Awesome.
Oh, bless.
Good.
Let
Can't
me,
complain.
excellent. Let me turn up your mics just a little bit inside. So it's a pleasure having you guys here with me today. iLIVE UK, you lot just come off your great tour. Great to have you inside. First of all, let me start with Yanis, the man that had the plan and can. Sir, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. I can't complain. Just, another day trying to put it together.
For sure, man. You've reached back to your quarters, your surroundings, your home. Are you still on that high?
Man, listen, work don't stop, man. So it's like I haven't necessarily really sat down and just be like, we did it. But, I'm pretty sure that time's going to come like this weekend when I get some time to rest.
Indeed. Gwen Yvette.
Yes.
What was your experience of coming to the UK for the very first time? How's it feel for you?
I mean, absolutely awesome. This was something, that I wanted to do for the last couple years, and it finally happened. So absolutely awesome. Yanis, of course, big props to my brother.
Of course.
For lining things up.
All right.
Yes.
Cool. And Tony.
Yes.
Have I said your name correctly?
Yes, it's Tony.
It's Tony. Okay, good. Because, sometimes we can get us British can get the pronunciations of your names wrong. But I made sure I check it out. Well, obviously, I've spoken to you before, and I know it's Tony. But just for those listening public out there that try to call you Tony or something else, it is Tony.
Right, or anything else. That is correct. My family calls me Tony because my birth name is Antoinette, but my artist name is pronounced Tony.
Tony, there we go. So your first time to the UK also, yeah?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It was an amazing time. I actually got some of my family to come down with me, and so we were able to experience the UK for the first time together.
Awesome.
So it was really pretty special.
Awesome. And last but by no means least, Miss Lovely.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Miss Sassy herself. This is what I'm going to call you. Miss Lovely, the sassy lady with those raunchy lyrics.
Raunchy?
Yeah, man. I mean, you know how to throw down. You really don't know how to throw down. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. But first of all, your first time in the UK, how have you felt being in London, Manchester, Birmingham? How's it feel?
Yeah, it was my first time, but it was nice though. I mean, like I said before, I think I kind of talked to you guys about it in person.
Yeah.
People were very receptive. People were very nice. They were very open, and they really like good music. So, that's always a plus.
Good. You came over here, you saw, you conquered, you delivered, and you gave us quality. Thank you so much. Please do not leave it too long before you come back, and we are awaiting all the greatness that you have to give us. And we will all support you in whatever way we can, whether it be buying a CD, whether it be coming out and hearing you perform, or just spreading the word and sharing the links that you're on. We're going to be there.
Right on.
Thank you so much.
So
definitely. Thank you. Big thing.
No problem. Let me go through you each one by one, and then I'm going to say my goodbyes. I'm going to start off with Miss Lovely. Can you give us your handles and where everyone can contact you?
Oh yeah, definitely. On Facebook, you can find me under the lovely Miss Lovely. On Instagram, Miss Lovely 707. Anywhere that you want to find me, if you look up Miss Lovely 707, if you Google Miss Lovely 707, you're going to find me, I promise.
Cool. Thank you very much. And Tony?
Yes, so Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, I believe is all under Tone Houston. That's TOINE with a little accent over the E, and that's Houston, HOUSTON. And then my website is iamtone.com. That's IAMTOINE.com, and that's linked to all my social media as well. So you can find me through there. And then if you go to Pandora, I'm under there as well as for Tone, as well as SoundCloud too. So it's all synced up.
Excellent. Gwen Yvette.
Yes, you can find me at gwenyvette.net. That's my website. There's links on there to all my social media, but Facebook, of course, is Gwen Yvette. Instagram is Gwen Yvette Sings. Twitter is Real Gwen Yvette. Somebody beat me to it. It's a popular name combination.
Hey. And the man with the master plan, Tay Yanis.
Yeah, man. TheSoulJonesCollection.com. So if you go to my website, it pretty much all my handles for Facebook, Instagram. I don't do Twitter much, but Facebook and Instagram for sure. But if you go to TheSoulJonesCollection.com, you'll pretty much be able to find everything there is about Tayanis, and we will definitely have some material up by the ladies as well. You know what I'm saying, promoting the IB album, promoting Miss Gwen Yvette, promoting Miss Lovely. TheSoulJonesCollection.com.
Excellent. Guys, collectively, the Soul Jones Collection. Again, you came to the UK, you saw, you conquered, you delivered. Manchester thanks you, Birmingham thanks you, London thanks you, iLIVE UK thanks you, and DJ Jairzinho really thanks you. Thank you guys for giving up your time and this lovely day. Have a blessed weekend.
Blessing.
Thank you. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Peace out. Take care for now.
Later.
There we go.
Bye.
Later.
You're listening to iLIVE Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me enormous pleasure. Today on iLIVE UK, the Luvfreeness Radio Show, I have the honor, the privilege, and the pleasure of introducing you to a well-renowned singer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Such.
Thank you so much for having me. Oh my God.
You're welcome. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really well.
Good. So the first time I actually had a brief moment to speak to you, you came here by way of a great guy, Simon Soul Gigs, who put this event on for you. Amazing is what I've got to say. Your first time here?
Thank you. No, it was actually my second time.
That's right, of course, because you came over and done Music Connects.
That's right.
Yes.
4 years ago. 4 years ago already. Can you believe it?
Wow, how time has flown. Mm-hmm. I do remember you doing that event because at that time you had a track out called Sugar Maple.
That's right.
And that actually tore up the UK.
Oh,
yeah. So
I love that song.
A big shout out goes out to JM Soul.
That's right.
For putting that event on.
Huge shout out to JM for sure.
Big up. So you've come back 4 years later into the UK. How does it feel for you?
It's amazing. I love the UK. So every time I come, I always feel like I'm at home. I could totally live in the UK. That's not even
really. So you can put up with our damp weather.
Right. Well, see, and here's the thing, right? Because I live in Denver, so I feel like I could do both, like partially there and partially in Denver.
Okay.
Because I feel like, because Denver has over 300 days of sun, so it's usually sunny.
Jeez.
That's how it rolls. Yeah.
I'm jealous.
You got to come visit.
Yeah, for real. I love that. I just want to get my facts correct. The first album being Stretch Marks.
That's right. Look at you. That's the one.
All right. Because a lot of people I've spoken to says, oh, yeah, Such came on the scene 2014. She came over here.
Right,
and
with Trial and Error.
With Trial and Error.
Right.
And I was like, no, I've been following Such way before that.
You have. You're like the real deal.
Yeah.
You know?
In a matter of fact, I found jingles that you done for me back then. I was like, oh.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's amazing.
Yeah. So you started with Stretch Marks. You started with Stretch Marks, and I'm going to tell you what my favorite off of that is. And I actually love the track called Prodigal on there.
I knew you were going to say that.
Why did you know I was going to say Prodigal?
I don't know. I was like, I bet you he's going to say Prodigal.
Why do you think I chose Prodigal?
Probably, you know what? Maybe I do have an idea, because I feel like maybe Prodigal is probably the closest thing to what I do now. Does that make any sense? Like maybe it's the closest thing to what I feel like that I've evolved into and that I'm continuing to evolve into. Like it's probably just the most.
Okay, I'll tell you the reason why I really do love it. Just to put you out your misery, because you're going to be rolling over at night if I don't tell you. So I love poetry. Okay, and what you're talking about in it, number one, kind of hit home for me, and your delivery on this more than any of the other tracks. Not saying any of the other tracks aren't as good. The whole album is a beautiful album, especially Innocence as well. Innocence Loss, I do like that as well. But Prodigal sticks out, like a sore thumb for me. That's my track.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And the fact that for those who was down at the waiting room, you done a bit of poetry there and spoken word, which you literally had people have goosebumps on their arm. I don't know about anyone else, but I did. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I can't really put it into words for anybody because I'm kind of like jumping and bouncing all over my words here as we speak. But I'm trying to get across that the feeling with your delivery and what you was talking about, how it resonated with everybody in that room. So with spoken word, even though you're listening to it, it's a feeling, it's a vibration that you give out to people.
Yes,
so
it is.
That was just awesome, just to be in the room, hearing your beautiful tones to begin with, but your delivery of your spoken word. My hat goes off to you, and yeah, amazing.
Ah, thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
When did this spoken word come about? Was it something that was always there when you write your lyrics, or?
So if you're referring to the song Melanin, that's actually my good friend Carrie Joy, who is a performance poet. So that's her on the album. And how that came about was she's a good friend of mine, and we always have the deepest conversations. And so I can tell you how that particular song came about. So I sometimes when I write songs, I write them in my dreams. So not like, oh, I'm dreaming and in my dream I see myself writing. That's not how it usually manifests itself. It'll be like, I'm in a dream and I go to a concert and the person who's performing is performing a song, right? But that song doesn't exist yet, so it's my song. Or in the case of Melanin, it literally was, I was walking down the street and I'll never forget it. There was this like storefront that had their door open and it was piping out that song to the street, but it wasn't the song as we know it. It was just like a instrumental version of it, like piano, right? And it was just the da 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 da, right? Da 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 da. That's like what was playing over and over, like piano.
Okay.
And so when I woke up, I was like, oh, this is amazing. I just started like singing that. I recorded it into my voice memos in my phone.
Yeah.
And the lyric, "Someone to Save Our Lives," just kept on like coming up in our head. And Carrie and I had just had a conversation about how a lot of times we give our power over to other people to think that they're the ones who can actually make a difference in our life. How empowering would it be if we understood like the strength that exists in the skin, in the blood that runs through our veins? And how cool would it be if we could just remember, even if we don't feel powerful, if we could just look back and see the examples that were set for us.
That's right.
So that we can pull on the strength of our ancestors. And so then I called her up and I was like, girl, I just think you should write to this. And so she did it. We performed it. I mean, we recorded it and it was magic. And I just knew, I was like, oh, this is amazing. I need this song. I need this song to remember, you know?
Oh, well executed and well delivered. How did Sugar Maple come about? I know there's a story behind
Sugar
this.
Maple, I know, right? Like literally. So I'm trying to remember. See, and this is the thing, right? Like when I write songs, I wish I could say that it was like super easy and I get like songs in 5 minutes, but usually it's a labor of love. And then like while I'm in it, I'm always like, man, blah, blah, blah. And then when it's done, it's like the whole process becomes fuzzy.
Yes.
Because I clearly am meant to keep writing songs. So, but I think it was definitely one of those songs where my producer already had the track. And so I had written like 2 or 3 songs to the same melody and nothing sounded good. It just didn't feel like, none of them felt like it was the right song. And so I was just in the studio listening to it and I was like, oh, I'm going to scratch what I wrote. I had recorded stuff like you have no idea, like all of this stuff, but I just knew that it just didn't feel right. Right. So we're there and I'm like, oh, and just literally out of nowhere, just sap from a sugar maple. And I was like, oh, let me look up sugar maple trees. And so I was like, oh, these are the trees that make maple syrup, right? So I was like, ooh, that goes. And then I love it. And then literally like the hook just came to me. And then as far as like, I feel pretty clever when it comes to like the verses because all of the lines end in A. And I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. You know what I mean? So I wrote to, you know, it's been a long day. You see what I'm saying? It all ends in, we feed each other sorbet. Like, you know
that's
what I mean?
Amazing.
I was like, okay.
So that was done by accident. And it's like, hey.
Then it worked. Okay. Yeah. So then I became intentional about it.
Right.
But, yeah.
Crazy. And the fact that, again, I go back to the waiting room where you orchestrated everybody to sing it. And at first we didn't get it right. And, you know, it's like, that was hilarious. But your stage presence alone is just kind of commanding and you really know how to work a crowd. It's like you're just a natural.
I mean, you know what? Honestly, I feel like, no, this is not something that I just like learned. Like, I feel like church really helped me with that.
Cool. Okay.
Because
there we go.
I feel like the church audience is probably like the hardest audience to like, because they're all like, we're very unimpressed. Like my cousin can sing amazing too. Like there's
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I do.
Everybody can sing. I would say one of the most influential things was I was on the praise team of a Pentecostal church.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I learned like how to be creative in the moment, because a lot of times they would do things being led by the Spirit. So we may rehearse a song, but if they felt led to do something else on the spot, they would. And I remember how it would make me so nervous. I'd be like, wait, like this is not planned. But with that, there was such beauty in like being able to co-create with the audience, with the congregation. And those are the things that I revel in now. Like I enjoy being able to know that this is the only time we're ever going to experience this. You know what I mean? What we experienced in the waiting room, that only happened once.
That's right.
And it could only happen once with those people that were there.
Of course.
And that is magical.
Yeah, that is.
You know?
That is. Listen, I know you've got a busy schedule and, you know, I'm going to wish you all the best going forward in your tour. Wide Nose, Full Lips, a big thing. Make sure everybody go out there and get it. Can you give us some details where people people can find you, where they can follow you, XYZ?
Absolutely. Okay, so my Instagram is at I am such, IAMSUCH. Twitter is at such. And for Facebook, if you just search I am such, you'll find me. And my website is iamsuch.com. And as you mentioned, I am available everywhere, all streaming platforms, Apple Music, Google Play, Spotify, Pandora, the whole nine.
Excellent. So we can expect you back in the UK when?
In January.
In January 2020.
Yes.
Hey.
I'm literally coming right back. I'm so excited.
Is Islington, O2 Islington Assembly Hall, I believe you're going to be at? Do we know the date?
That's right. 11th or 12th.
All right, cool.
I believe. I'll be opening up for PJ Morton. Jeez. So it's going to be a good show. Listen.
Wow. I will be there front and center as usual.
Yay. Aw, thank you so much.
I will be there. And is there anyone you want to give a big shout out to before I let you go on your way?
Absolutely. I'd love to give a shout out to Simon Soul Gigs for bringing me out and bringing me out again. Woo-hoo. It's going to be awesome. I love UK. I'd love to give a shout out to my producer, JC. Want to give a shout out to my whole band, 440, Riley Broderson on guitar, Jason Martin on drums, Darius Pope on bass. And to all you lovely people listening, listen, you get the shout out.
That's right.
Because without you, what? I wouldn't be able to do what I do. So I'm so thankful for y'all.
Indeed.
Yeah. Thank y'all.
Cool. Listen, Such, it's been a blessing. It's been an honor and a privilege, as I said at the top of the interview. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best. May God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This has been an absolute blast.
Good night. God bless. Bye-bye.
You're listening to iLIVE Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLIVE Radio.
There you go. I think that's going to be about it from me, DJ Jairzinho. I hope so you enjoyed all of what I gave this evening, reminiscing over the year 2019, all the interviews we went through, bar one or two. Time is of the essence. It's time for me to get out of here and, get my party on. Christmas is in the air. Whatever you're doing, make sure you enjoy immensely. Be safe, be careful, care for those that's around you. Love in all our hearts. Once again, big shout out goes out to all the artists. Let's name them: Terry Rimson, Ria 706, Kenzel, Smooth Blend, Ida Divine, Aisha Laverne, Homemade Soul, Princess Diamonds, Lisa Banton, Mandy, Eva Bittersweet, Reggie Myrex, Noel Gordine. Big shouts that goes out to those that was over here doing a Doing Numbers tour. Music Carolyn, Gina P, Casey Roberts. Big up DJ Sessions, Shaq D. Also Marv King, the Soul Jones Collection tour, the entire tour that came over here. Big up Such, Old Tight Shy Soul Right, Nate Rich, Darian Dean, and of course Venus Beats. Next year we'll have another big plethora of artists coming through the studio. Make sure you keep it locked to iLive UK. Jairzinho out. Have yourself a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Good night.
Merry Christmas.